A Kentucky Senate bill just passed that would require fathers to pay child support for unborn children. And today we're going to talk about it.
Check it out, yeah. I'm a strong man, always rising above, dealing with shady women, but I never lose my love. Got the world on my shoulders, but I won't fold. I stay true to myself, never let my dreams go. TSG uncut, we on the rise, laying down tracks, hypnotize the skies. From the streets to the stage, we bring the heat, rapping about real life, nothing sweet. Living the day in the life, yeah, we doing it right. From the hustle to the mic, we always shine bright. TSG uncut, we running this game, stacking up the money, ain't nothing gonna change.
What up, gents? Welcome to TSG Uncut. I am your host, Sean C. Now, when I woke up this morning, I saw on my phone about this Kentucky bill that just passed that will require fathers to pay child support for unborn children. All right. Now, this is something that I'd already had a screenshot on my phone because this issue actually has been talked about, or I knew that this proposed law would possibly come to fruition months ago. Right? They was talking about this since September. So about 6 months ago, I was like, all right, let me screenshot this on my phone because there's a potential for this thing to pass. So when I woke up, I'm talking about right when I woke up and grabbed my phone and saw this, I started reading through the article, and on the surface, it seems like you have lawmakers who care about women who need help with the costs associated with having a kid. That sounds great and gravy, right? All of that sounds good on the surface. But when you really dig into it and really think about the issues that we are seeing with when it comes to men and, fathering kids, paying child support, all of these different things, you start to realize how this law could be detrimental to men, especially if it starts in Tennessee and this law starts to pass around the country. All right. So I have an article that we're going to get through. Today's live stream isn't going to be, we're going to get through the information. I have a bunch of video clips for you. Today we're going to discuss this Kentucky law that passed. We're going to look at some video clips of why DNA testing should be mandatory and how laws like this affect men. How what we're seeing with the lack of DNA testing and the laws that are on the land, how it affects you. Okay, so let's jump right into it today. Uh-oh. Give me a second, you guys. Look like my my screen didn't. There we go. All right. So we're going to go through this. I got two articles. One kind of goes more into how this is going to affect men, or at least the Black community in particular. But we're going to start with this one, right? Kentucky Senate passes bill to grant the right to collect child support for unborn children. Let's read a little bit, shall we? All right. The Republican-led Kentucky Senate voted overwhelmingly Tuesday to grant the right to collect child support for unborn children, advancing a bill that garnered bipartisan support. Now let's just talk about that for a second, okay? I get men that come on this channel in my comments And the first thing they talk about is how the Dems are doing this, the Dems are doing that. As you guys know, I try to keep this channel apolitical. I want to talk about men's issues, issues that affect men. This isn't about being left. This isn't about being right. This is about just laws. So when you decide you want to come into the comments of this video and make it political, you have to realize something that I've said for a long time on this channel. The left and the right, though they may have different ideologies, they are still against us as people, both men and women. Everything they do, both left and right, Dem Republican, is to benefit them, which is why I am a registered independent. Now, I'm going to take this from being political out of this and just talk about how it affects us men. So y'all need to get that out your lexicon. You need to get that out of your mind to think that one side or the other gives a shit about you, whether you're a man or you're a woman. You have to look deep and see why they pass certain laws. Okay? Let's get back to it. The measure would allow a parent to seek child support up to a year after giving birth to retroactively cover pregnancy expenses. The legislation won Senate passage on a 36-2 vote with little discussion to advance to the House. Republicans have super majorities in both chambers. Okay? Thank you very much, Brandon. People don't realize that, man. If y'all don't know, Brandon said, thank you for saying this. Don't support red or blue. They'll both leave you dead after they screw with you. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that because we're going to see, I'm going to talk about how this on the surface looks like a good idea, but you got to see the nefarious reasons behind it. All right? You got to see the nefarious reasons behind it. Now, I was a registered Democrat. I switched to independent because I have problems with the left and I got problems with the right. If you want to know my politics is how does it help regular people? Period. End of story. Does it help you? Does it help me? And I look at both sides and I look and read between the lines. Do not find yourself being a robot to this damn system. Try to tell y'all on this channel all the time, man. I don't give a damn about left or right. I care about helping people, okay? Particularly on this channel, I want to help men. Right? Republican State Senate Whitney Whitfield, or Westerfield, said after that the broad support reflects a recognition that pregnancy carries with it obligations for the other parent to help cover the expenses incurred during the 9 months. Westerfield is a staunch abortion opponent and supporter of the bill, right? I believe that life begins at conception, Westerfield said while presenting the measure to his colleagues. But even if you don't, there's no question that there are obligations and costs involved with having a child before that child is born. Now, let me say this, okay? There's always a truth, and then there's always the lie. On the surface, this makes sense. If you are a man and you are deciding to have a baby with a woman, you should help that woman with the cost when it comes to childcare. Period. End of story. I have my twin daughters and I have my son, and I was blessed enough to have their child care covered through my insurance. I was married. Okay. I want to make that clear. I married my children's mothers. So I want to put that out there. I believe that. So on the surface, this seems the right thing to do. That woman having to go through it by herself and financially have to figure it out for a child that you created with her, yes, you should be wanting to make sure that your woman is taken care of, which is why if you can't take care of your woman during her pregnancy, then you shouldn't be having kids. Period. End of story. I don't think that's debatable. But we're going to get further into this article and we're going to see where the lie comes in, where the nefariousness comes in. Okay. Oh, there's more to it. Okay, sorry. So if there's not a child support order until the child's 8, this isn't going to apply. So this article is saying that you need to have a child support order in place until the child is 8. And if the woman decides that she wants to bring you to court for child support, do you understand what I'm saying? So if she wants to bring, if there's no child support in order, this law will allow her up until the first year, from conception to the first year. So essentially about 21 months, right? She has to be able to take you to court in order to incur the cost. I want you guys to remember that, okay? I want you guys to remember 21 months of cost. Now, a lot of these bills, they don't tell you, but that includes not only the maternal care for the mother and the child, but also includes if she decides to go buy stroller, cribs, everything associated with being able to take care of that kid, car seat, all that stuff, diapers, everything that this woman wants to bring to court, she can. Kentucky is among at least 6 states where lawmakers have proposed measures similar to a Georgia law that allows child support to be sought back to conception. Georgia also allows prospective parents to claim its income tax deduction for dependent children before birth. Utah enacted a pregnancy tax break last year, and variations of those measures are before lawmakers in at least a handful of other states. So I don't know if you guys realize this about claiming kids on taxes, right? If you are not married to a woman, as a man, only one of you all get to claim this for child support. Now, if you are a married couple, then you can go ahead and claim these state tax exemptions, right? You can claim these state tax exemptions. But if you are not with her, then guess what? That tax exemption does not help out men. It will help out the woman. And I'm okay with that if it's going to help her incur the cost. But that, her being able to claim those exemptions, don't take away from your child support obligation. Let's continue on. The Kentucky bill underwent a major revision before winning Senate passage. The original version, and this is the one that I saw months ago, would have allowed a child support action at any time following conception, meaning that even after the child is past a year old, the woman can always go back and retroactively get child support from conception, all the way from conception, all right? But that measure was amended to have such an action apply only retroactively after the birth with the time limit. And they figured that out because they 2 reasons. It was highly unpopular with some people, right? And the other thing is, what if that woman, for some reason, doesn't have that kid? Despite the change, abortion rights supporters will watch closely for any attempt by anti-abortion lawmakers to reshape the bill in a way that sets the stage for personhood for a fetus, said Tamara Wilder, the Kentucky State Director for Planned Parenthood Alliance Advocates. The measure still needs to clear a House committee and the full House. Any House change would send the bill back to the Senate. But they have super majorities in both houses. So the chances of this law passing is very high. But I want you to realize something. This abortion rights advocate didn't say that this bill is a bad thing because we don't want it to adversely affect men who may or may not be the father. They're more worried about the conservative view about saying that an embryo or a fetus is a viable life. See, they're not worried about men in this. They're worried about this debate between pro-life or pro-choice. This has nothing to do with men. See what I'm saying? So both sides aren't really looking out for the interest of men. They're looking out for the interest of themselves. And we're going to get to that, right? The debate comes amid the backdrop of recent Alabama Supreme Court ruling that frozen embryos are legally protected children, which spotlight the anti-abortion movement's long-standing goal of giving embryos and fetuses legal and constitutional protections on par with those of the people carrying them. So this is another debate. Now, I want to go to this second article, okay? The second article that I'm going to read from is going to say all of the same things. But I want to go to this one section. So what does it mean for Kentucky's 8% of black folks, okay? This thing reads, and you have to excuse me because the writing is really little and I'm getting old. Well, if the bill is wholly passed, black mothers or soon-to-be mothers in Kentucky can request child support from their offspring's father to help cover any parental expenses. Any parental expenses. It is known that the risk of infant mortality is about 4 times higher in black families than in white families. Black mothers are also likely to experience poor maternal mental health, which could lead to more severe issues with pregnancy. However, studies showed that greater father involvement could benefit the baby's health from attending parental courses to paying for parental necessities. Yet only 8% of black fathers were included in parental care services. Now, when we talk about this, we're talking about in Tennessee. I mean, I keep saying Tennessee, Kentucky. Tennessee is about to come up here in a little bit, okay? I have a number of video clips. I have like 8 or 9 video clips to show you guys after we go through this. Something that I want to say, again, in theory, on the surface, it sounds good to be able to be there for the child in the beginning stages. I am not disagreeing with that. I am looking at the impact that this could potentially have. Now, let's go back up to where it says that the soon-to-be mothers in Kentucky can request child support from their offspring's father to help cover any parental costs. Let's do a scenario here. Okay, I'm gonna put myself up on screen. We're gonna do some scenario real quick. Imagine, if you will. Actually, I'll just put myself up on full screen. Imagine, if you will, that you are supposedly fathering a kid for a woman who is having a baby by another man. But you were with her at some point, but this baby isn't yours. Now imagine that you're a young man, you don't have a lot of money, you probably don't have a lot of money. And then the woman who had the baby for another man, imagine if she was dating somebody that's maybe selling illegal substances, if you will. And let's say that man got a little knot on him. And so he's able to buy for her car seat, right? He's able to buy the crib. He's able to buy the walker, stroller, the little baby hamper. He's able to buy all these things for the women, for the woman, even if he's not the father. So she can take the receipts of the things that man bought for her, take the man who she's telling is the father, take him to court. And then that man who isn't the father would be on the hook for not only paying for all the things that this dude who had the knot in his pocket paid for, but also the doctor's expenses and all these things like that, even though this man isn't the kid. And if you think that isn't a possibility, wait until I show you the clips that I'm going to show you, okay? Let's continue reading this so we can get to these clips. All right. So, hence, It's why black mothers seek child support payments, because they know the burden shouldn't only be on them, which is why this bill could be beneficial. But America has a lot to work to do. Now, there's a woman who wrote this, right? The nation has a history of ensuring black families fail. Absolutely. Boom. Stop. End of story. There's a truth and there's a lie. The truth is this country has failed black families tremendously. And if you don't believe it, go watch Friday's video on single moms. Go watch that video, which is now almost at 40,000 views. Thank you very much if you were one of the people that watched Friday's video. Okay. According to USA Facts, a 2017 study showed that black children were over twice as likely as white children to live with one custodial parent, but they're less likely to have a child support agreement. One of the possible reasons for the low numbers of child support orders for black people is the disproportionately high rate of black men in prison. Now, when you're talking about black men being in prison, we know that black men are 6 times more likely than their white counterparts to be accused of a crime. And nowadays, we're seeing these young men going to prison at high rates. And this is part of the system. This is what they want. These same lawmakers are usually invested. Their money is invested in these prison systems. They're invested in the fact that they don't care if our children fail in the black community. They're banking on it. They're banking on them failing. Now imagine when I was a young man, back in the day, minimum wage was so low, and it's still very low now, but minimum wage was so low, I was only making $1,100 a month prior to me going into the military. Actually, I made less when I first started off in the military, if truth be told, right? But imagine I'm only making $1,100 a month. So were you talking $13,000 a year? You know, 13-something thousand dollars a year. So this affects young fathers. This affects young fathers. I'm going to show you in one of the clips how one of these young fathers gets affected by it. But let's get back to the article, and we're going to get to the clips. For custodial black moms who have child support agreement with the non-custodial father, it's not guaranteed that they will receive mandatory child support money. According to the Institute for Research of Poverty, the majority of the 115 billion child support arrears in the U.S. stem from a majority of low-income black fathers, a reported income of under $20,000. Now, they got the number wrong on there, but it's $20,000. And I just told you, when I was 18 years old, when I just got out of high school, I was only making $1,100 a month. That's not a lot of money. I could barely afford to get my own apartment, leaving many black mothers to carry the financial burden of nurturing their children during pregnancy to after. See, the thing is, though it's not enough support, young mothers can get government assistance. And what this bill is supposedly designed to do, this is why Republicans in Kentucky passed it, is to offset some of the costs that the government is paying for these low-income women onto the men. This is what they're doing. So when you sit here and say that, oh man, it's all about the left is trying to screw over men and blah, blah, blah. No, man, the right is on there too. The right is equally culpable for this. Now, yes, should men step up and take care of their woman and take care of the kid? Absolutely. I'm 100% in agreement with that. But we need something else in place to protect men in this situation, and we're going to get to that. One of the reasons behind black non-custodial fathers being unable to pay child support is the difficulty in finding a job that would provide them the means to pay due to systematic discrimination in the labor market and education. Now, this is the one thing I would say that this woman wrote makes sense. A lot of these young fathers, the men, right? When we talk about who's creating the children in the black community, the majority of them is coming from these Pookies and Ray Rays. We know that 51% of men are single and childless. The other 33% are either married, separated, or divorced. All right? And it's not to say all of them are taking care of their kids, but what I'm saying is those kids were created inside of a structure. The other ones are created by the rest of the dudes. Less than 20% of men are creating over 70% of the children in the black community. It's crazy, right? And these dudes are having multiple kids. And I suggest you guys go over to Medium Man and check out the statistics on it. He just did a post on his YouTube community post showing the statistics. I wish I could pull it up right now, but these statistics show that it is women, these young women, particularly in the black community, that are having more children than men. Men are more likely to, when it comes to men are more likely to be with the mother in the beginning time. When you look at women are less likely to be with the supposed father. So what is that saying? Those statistics that Medium Man put out showed that men are more likely, who believe that they're a father, are more likely to be there for that woman in the beginning. Whereas these women who are out there, not protecting themselves, they are less likely to have that man around. So let me finish reading this and we'll get to this. Another reason is the disproportionate rates of black men in prison. According to Pew Trust, the rate of black men admitted to jails in 2019 was 6 times higher than any other group. Additionally, black adults being imprisoned were 5 times likely in 2020 than white adults, okay? So let me put myself back up on screen and I'm going to get the first video together, right? Let me take some of your comments and then I'm going to get right into the video. Shout out to XL Pro. Please hit that like button, okay? Every like helps the channel. All right, I thank you guys for this. I know this was an emergency live stream, but a sudden live stream. But when I saw this, I said we need to discuss this. Both men and women, we need to discuss this. Okay, I already read that. Thanks for the shout out, brother. Nope, I shout out everybody who comes through. Brandon, thank you for coming through today and supporting. Dean Cook, thank you for coming here. That's why the real men are getting their passports and keeping it moving. Absolutely, man. That's why men see, Dean, what's going on. And a lot of men are checking out because they see these things happening. And I'm putting this out because I want men to see the writing on the walls. I want young men to see this and realize they need to be careful with their seed. They need to be careful because these laws are I'm telling you right now, there's some nefarious shit coming down the pipeline. And it's all in the hopes to keep men down, and it's both parties doing it. Now, Republicans are like scrambling right now because that Roe versus Wade got shot down, and I believe this law is to basically get more women's support. See, this ain't about you as the man. This is about them losing women. They're going to lose this election, and if they do, it's going to be because of Roe v. Wade, and they're losing the support of women. And they're like, oh, we got to do something. We got to let women know that we're on their side. I'm telling you now, left wing, right wing, it's the same damn bird. Please trust on that. The government just keeps giving reasons for men to stay away from women. Don't marry them because of the divorce laws and whatever you don't get them pregnant. Yeah. Hey, DG18, thank you for coming through. Thank you for supporting as always. Listen, we're going to talk about a lot of this in these clips. Salute. Thank you, XL Pro. You always here. There's an old saying that a democracy can only last until one group begins voting its way into others' wallets. The 19th Amendment gave birth to the welfare state. Absolutely. Salute from Germany. Thank you, Sergeant. 144. Thank you from Salute from Germany. Right? This is something that could be seen in other countries as well. We're starting to see these laws passed there's a concerted effort around the world to suppress men, because when men are weak, the society is vulnerable. Okay, y'all talking through it, okay? This bill is more incentive for women to get pregnant. Yes, thank you. Thank you. We're going to talk about that. If the government wanted to reduce unplanned pregnancy, it would remove the benefits of doing so. That's exactly why I showed you guys this article, okay? This article is an incentive for women to get pregnant, because they could lie on a dude, or they can get pregnant knowing that they're going to get child support and they're going to get benefits from the government. And once a man is on child support, he's more likely to be on the hook for that child until that child is out of school. And I'm going to show you how that's a possibility. That's why I woke up today and I saw that article and I was like, yo, this is serious. This is some serious shit, man. You on your back, we're on your side. Right? Shout out Preston. Yo, Sean C, TSG, big homie. Thank you, Preston, for coming through. Steve says, if you don't want more, tax it. If you do want more, subsidize it. Yeah. So you don't live with women or cohabitate with the woman. It can be dangerous. And we're going to look at it here in this first one. Now, the first video clip that I'm going to show you guys is how women are resistant to mandatory DNA testing. This isn't the only video, but I'm trying to keep the videos to a minimum so we can go about our day, okay? But I'm going to show you an example how women are very resistant to this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear this when I play it. Uh-oh. What just happened?
Mandatory.
All right, let's go. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear this.
Mandatory. If you know, like, oh, my girl, she ain't doing this, she ain't doing that, like,
But would you
I already
feel
know what it
offended if a
is.
man asked you
I'm
that?
very much offended. If he, I'm be mad because you should know my body.
A lot of people have the
Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear it.
The women is we just assume that they are loyal and trustworthy, right? And not all women are that. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think it should be any type of disrespect in there. You know, most guys that I ask this question, they just like, yeah, definitely. But when you ask women, it's like, nah, that's disrespectful. I'll kill it if you ask me that question.
I feel like it should be mandatory because, like I said, it would take out anybody being offended in the situation.
My significant other asking me, that would offend me. But if it was something that's
Already mandatory,
that's different.
Him asking that shouldn't get your lack of trust. That, if anything, if you're confident that it's his child,
I am.
It
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. Like,
It shouldn't be no problem at all.
No, for me, I just feel like, honestly, don't ask me that because you sound stupid.
Now let me put myself up on the screen next to this woman. See, she can rationalize if it was law, she wouldn't feel bad about it. But asking about it, you get offended. Now, I asked my son's mom for a DNA test, and she was hella mad about it. But I asked her for it because I needed to know. Now, do I know that my son is mine? Absolutely. If you look at his features, you know. Okay? However, no, you can't trust that. You can't trust just because, oh, I think the baby looks like me. No. That DNA test should be mandatory. I needed to know. And I had reason to want to know. Okay? So they're going to get offended. So what? If you're a woman, you should not be offended by this because the father has no clue if you were with another man or not. But the woman does. The woman is the only person to know if there was another possibility that another man was around. And when women give you this BS and tell you that, oh, it can't be nobody else but you, these women know when they're ovulating. These women know when their fertility window is. They know, they 100% know. They know if they took the birth control. They know if they missed a month of birth control. They know all of these things. So a man wanting to know if the baby is his should not offend a woman. They should 100% want to know because of some things that we're going to talk about in more of these videos. Okay. I'm going to take a couple comments real quick. Hells no, you can't even trust women with their lives and entitled garbage. I saw this law. I thought I was crazy. No, you ain't crazy. Thank you, Classy Perspective, for coming through. Steve says, it's his baby. See, they have the same hat. I've had women lie to me about pregnancy before. Absolutely. Look, if you talk to, let's say, 10 or 20 men, you're going to come across at least one that have been in a situation where a woman tried to say that he was the father or about to lie about a baby. You're going to come across it. Is Kentucky this broke that they're squeezing money out of men? Yes, they are. Honestly, you look at a lot of the southern states, and a lot of them are being subsidized by the wealthier states. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of these southern states, a lot of these poorer states are being subsidized by bigger states. They just don't have the revenue. They don't have the jobs. They don't have the revenue, right? You don't just have a state and just all states are making money equally. That's not the case. A lot of these states, especially the ones that like have a lot of poor people, and then where there's poor people, there's ignorance. And where there's ignorance, the government can siphon off money from those poor people. That's why when these laws pass, it's going to be all in these poor states, right? I literally missed the part where I don't care if you get mad at a DNA test. All right, Preston. All right, let me get the next clip together, okay? Let me show you why DNA testing should be 1,000% mandatory.
For certain that Dreani is your child's father?
Yes, I'm 99.99999% sure. I'm ready.
Please read it out loud for me.
Now, before he reads this, let me say this. When you see these shows and stuff, a lot of men may find out, but when you watch these shows, you do see the dude saying, yeah, I know. If they feel like they know that this kid ain't theirs, of course, they're going to be like, yeah, I told you, right? And the mores and stuff like that. But when the dude actually cares for the kid and stuff like that, they say it like he do. I'm ready, because they're willing. If that's their kid, they're willing to be there, right? They're willing to be there in the beginning. I said in Friday's video, though, a lot of these women, where it even comes to this, a lot of these women, they run the men off. They run these men off. Let's get back to it.
Braden is not my biological son. Oh my God. Oh my God.
That cannot be right.
It says that right there.
So,
you know what's crazy? When women say this cannot be right, but they know they laid down with another dude sometime at all, period, but they want to claim like it's not right because they don't want to look bad. Women know, brothers, young men, women know.
Andy, Dreani is not the father of your child.
It's
Brandy.
no other possibility.
Well, clearly there is.
Brandy.
That can't be right.
It's
Come
correct.
on, Caramo.
Brandy, what it
This stuff has kept me up at night, Caramo. I'm
Of
being
course.
honest. It's kept me up at night. My feelings have hurt. As a man, I've pain in my body.
I got to tell you, I'm absolutely shocked right now.
Because I'm 100% absolutely an incredible father. And like I said, regardless of how I deal with women sometimes, I try to be a decent man. And I want to be a better man.
It's no other possibility. I don't understand what's going on.
Well, is there...
I want y'all to hear something he said, man. I told you all. And women, y'all try to say, oh, man, just go ahead and lay in there with these women and they don't care. No, the majority of men, let me rephrase that. Believe it or not, there's more men that care than you would expect. Even the ones that we would look at and say he a Pookie or a Ray Ray. Those dudes have the intention of trying to be a father. And usually it's these women with these unrealistic expectations trying to extract and use a man for his resources that wind up running the man away to extort the baby over the father's head for their benefit. Try to talk to this man anyway, using that man's kid against him to the detriment of his feelings. I want y'all to know something he said before I get back to this video. He said it made him feel sick in his body. I'm going to show you another clip here in a minute that another man had the exact same feeling. Men want to know that their kid is theirs because we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Anyone that you could have slept with when y'all were together in that
No.
before y'all broke
I
up?
was only with him.
Karamo,
There has to be one
once
other
again,
person.
it brings me.
Look at
it's
it.
full circle. This is a full circle moment for me right now.
This can't be
Read it. Here
real.
you go. Here you go. It's yours.
Hey man, I'm really about to talk to y'all in this video, so it might be a little long, bro. But do you see?
All right, I didn't even see that. I didn't even know that was a part of the video. Okay. We're not going to get into what he about to say. We're going to run through these clips. All right. I'm going to show you another clip. Check this out. Now, this clip, in a way, some of you going to say this man was simping. Okay. But I swear to you, when these men find out they have a kid that they could potentially raise, men want to be fathers. Men want to find a woman that they can be with and they can marry. I did a poll on this long time ago on this channel, and you guys have told me, even with some of you all with the strongest feelings, said that if you could find a good woman, you would want to have a wife someday, have a woman in a long-term committed relationship, and have children together. Most men desire this. So you have a lot of women out here who aren't good actors. Then we're not going to play this whole clip because it's long, but we're going to listen to the beginning of it. Check it out.
Y'all got to see this video.
Mom, you went and go get a DNA test.
Me?
Don't worry about that, Mom. Tell me, no, why did you go get a DNA test on Nana?
Who? What? What is you talking about?
You know what you did? You know what you did?
Down first of all,
no.
Then I'll talk to you.
No.
Okay, I will talk to you because I've been talking to you.
Tell me right now.
I did it. You know that be ain't true. She don't even look like you. She don't look like me. She don't look like your grandmama.
Listen, Mom.
Nobody.
I told you to stay out of my business in the first place when you were talking about
you my baby boy, and this ain't your baby. No. Period.
Listen. I was happy with doing.
I'm not gonna take it back. I'm not gonna say sorry because I want my own grandbaby.
Ooh, did y'all hear that? Ain't that what men arguing? That they want to know that the kid is theirs. The majority of men want to know that their offspring that they are bringing forward, that's coming into this world, is theirs. And even this woman, who seemed to be a modern woman grandma now, even said it. Women say one thing, there's the truth, and then there's the lie. I told you guys.
No, child.
I'm not asking.
That ain't your child.
I'm not asking you to say
mama,
sorry.
That you want me to accept this grandbaby? No. I'm not gonna do this. Get that camera out my face.
I love now.
Get that camera out my face.
Why you throwing stuff?
Why you doing this? This is not even necessary. Because you know what?
This to prove that my mama won't stay out my business.
It's okay. It's okay. Because guess
all
what?
you had to do is mind your business.
Guess what? I did this for us. Both of us. We cool now.
No,
this ain't your baby. I ain't gotta buy Pampers. I ain't buy no more pacifier.
So now you calling my baby.
I'm sorry,
so now you gonna call my baby
about kids, but they ain't your baby. So stop saying that. Don't play with me. You know what?
Mom, listen,
give me some water. Give me some water or something. You making my blood pressure go up. I don't understand this.
Now, I'm not going to play this whole thing as a long clip, right? Let me know in the chat, do you agree with the mother getting the DNA test, stepping in for her son? Do you think that the mother was meddling? What do y'all think? In one case, you could look at this and say that the mother was looking out for her son, which she should do. But on the other part, this mother meddled in her son's life. And look at and listen, it's just something that just something that I noticed. Look at this. Look at the mother's behavior, man. I wouldn't be shocked if there wasn't a dad in their life. I wouldn't be shocked at all. Wouldn't shock me at all. if this mom didn't run off somebody's kid or run off the daddy, it wouldn't shock me. I want to hear from you guys. Hold up, real quick. XL Pro says, bullseye, classy perspective. You gentlemen are wasting your time in the U.S. That is a classy perspective. She raised a simp. Her overbearing personality not only guaranteed there would not be a father in the house to raise him, but also he would be a weak man. Thank you, DG18, for that. Preston says, so it's okay when women do it, but when a man ever did or said something like that, it would be World War III and IV, right? Mom DNA testing. Women are okay being the recipient of a fraud, but very upset being the one funding it. Ooh, damn, Steve, that's a good one. Parental estoppel is not new. It's been in the law for decades, right? Cool Breeze, thank you for coming through. Cool Breeze, we're actually going to talk about that. We're going to talk about parental estoppel. Timothy, thank you for coming through. He said, I think she was looking out for her son. Most women teach their daughters to do the opposite. Yeah. OVT, thank you for coming through. Mom did the right thing, protecting her son, because years later, who knows what's going to really happen when the real father steps back in. That's okay. So you guys think that the mother did the right thing. Okay, fair enough. All right, let's look at this. Let's listen to this.
We talk about the DNA testing center. I had two guys call in. They work at DNA testing centers. One guy had to quit. One guy still works there. He told me 40% of the children are not the man's child. 40%. He said 40%.
Listen, I stopped it right here to say this. We hear about a third of the men in DNA testing centers are not the father, but this is the opinion of TSG Uncut. That 30% is actually higher. And let me tell you why it's higher. Because there's a lot of men who just don't ever check. And what's her name? Melanie King. Melanie King is going to go into why. Just listen.
40%.
Somebody call
and
Maury.
It's usually
Make DNA testing mandatory.
It's two scenarios. It's where the woman, the person's getting a DNA test because the woman claims that is their child. Turns out it's not. The other one is where the parent is on a deathbed and makes a confession, or they need a liver transplant, blood transfusion, and the blood type, there's no way that can actually be the father. So then they find out because of medical reasons, you mean that's not my father? Then the father finds out from that way. He said it took such a toll on him that he could no longer do it because he would be sitting on the phone counseling the men and the grown children who these women falsely accuse. We see it on Moore, we see it on paternity court, but yet we say men need to be held accountable. Why are these women needing all these why does Maury exist when you are not the father? Why does paternity court exist if women are so accountable?
Do you know what would happen if DNA testing was mandatory? If they tested all women? Calamity.
All right. Shout out to MTR. I want you. So I said I believe that number is higher than 30%. Melanie said that the DNA, the two dudes that reached out to her said it's like 40%. But think about what Melanie said. She said that women, how they wound up getting DNA testing was deathbed confessions. The other thing was when that child needs an organ or blood transfusion, they got to test. Because they can't put the wrong blood into that child or that mother or whatever. So if people never get into those two scenarios, people would never know. How many women died on their deathbed and knew that the kid wasn't for the man? That's why I believe this number is higher. MTR was absolutely correct. If DNA testing was done on every kid right now, between the kids and the parents, I believe that number would be higher. There'd be more women out there that it would be more. That number would be higher. I agree with her point. I don't agree how she did it. It sounds like she has problems with the woman he chose to be with long term. Why men want to do this, I don't know. You know, classy perspective, I've actually been thinking about that. And I want y'all to think about it from this perspective. Okay. You lay with who you are around. You lay with who you are around. I grew up in the hood. Who do you mess with? You mess with the women that are around you. So if you grew up in the hood, there's more chance that you're going to mess with hood-ass women. You're going to look at that and you're going to say, this is the pool of women that are available to me. Whether you're a good man or a bad man. Whether you're a potentially good father or a bad father. So why do men do this? Just like when people control alt delete themselves or other people, when they control alt delete other people, usually they control alt delete people that are around them, that are near them, in their surrounding areas. These are facts. I've seen tons of children who have heart problems, need bone marrow procedures, kidney transplants. We did a blood test that didn't match. So obviously I'm looking, classy perspective, you look like you're in the medical profession, so you would see this more often than the average American or the average person would, okay? Jamaica has a 70% rate of paternity fraud. It's called a jacket. Yes. I wish I had that clip, Sergeant. I wish I had that clip. Because there is a clip that shows that you have a lot of women in Jamaica who are fathering children, 70%. I've seen that clip before. All right, let me get the next clip ready. Now, this is going to talk about some of the facts that this man running the paternity clinic is seeing. You probably have seen this video before going around on social media, but I want to play it for perspective, okay? So please bear with me.
Where from 5 to 30% of the general population, men are raising and paying for children that are not theirs and don't know. According to the American Association of Blood Banks, between 25 and 30% of the males who are accused of being the father, they take a paternity test and find out they did not do it.
Are you for mandatory DNA testing at birth?
Absolutely.
I am absolutely
on
record as saying that if we want to prevent the problem of having men challenge paternity later down the road, is then let's apply a proactive solution. Automatic DNA testing at birth would work to help two things. One, we would assure that the right parents were named on the birth certificate.
Get rid of paternity fraud.
It would stop paternity fraud and take the profit out of paternity fraud.
But so many women's groups say this wouldn't be fair. You're acting like you don't trust the mother. Why do you think they say that?
You see that? Sorry, I stopped it. But you see that? See how that woman framed the question that women say is going to be unfair? That's why I played that video for you in the beginning. To that woman saying that she don't like that if her dude would ask for a paternity test. It's not fair. How is it not fair? How is that fair to the father or to the man that is the potential father or the prospective father? It's not fair to him. And I want you to know something. Before y'all get on this left and right and all this stuff again, why isn't the right passing bills? Why isn't the left or the right passing bills that are going to protect men and paternity fraud? Why? I'm going to leave that question in your head because I have another clip. We're going to talk about why. We're going to talk about why they don't give a shit. Okay? Again, this is not a left or a right thing. This is, they are trying to suppress men. They are trying to hold men down. And a man that is a young man that has to take care of a child early on is going to be less likely for him to rise out of a poverty situation or to even be able to lift his own family out of a poverty situation. It shouldn't be about trust. It should be about what's the biological truth. Absolutely. Women say paternity testing is not fair for the same reasons burglar oppose locks on doors. Damn, Steve, that's bars. The courts are getting a percentage because they know men are more conservative with their money than women. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that classy perspective. We're going to talk about that. All right. You are absolutely correct. Let's get back to it. I'm actually going to play it from up here.
It's a red herring.
Yep.
it takes away from the focus of, well, who's the one person who has all of the information about potential fathers or the paternity candidates? It is the child's mother.
Yeah, she knows.
And currently, in most places, she has no duty to disclose that, well, wait a minute. Well, my husband's not really my child's father. My boyfriend is. Like, well, wait, lady. But you're married. You forgot that you were married? No.
All right. All right. I played that for a reason. The mothers know. And so I've said on this channel before, and I have shown you guys that states like Texas don't give a damn, right? States like Texas don't give a damn whether you're the father or not. They need somebody to cover the cost and take the cost off the government for being on the hook for paying for a kid while at the same time collecting money from it. Child support is fraud. Child support is a racket. That's exactly what it is. And that's what Classy Perspective says. The courts are getting a percentage because they know men are more conservative with their money than women. The truth is powerful, but not popular. Absolutely. Now, let's get to what Classy Perspective was saying about the courts. That's what this next video is going to show. Maybe you guys have seen this, but check this out.
You spent 5 years in prison.
5 years in prison.
Failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan.
That's right.
Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
5 years in prison.
5 years in prison.
Yes, I talked to him still.
She should be convicted of some crime.
No, I should not. I didn't.
That is
Mr.
fraud.
Gents, every time I see that video, it literally puts a shiver up my spine, man. Every time I think about that man spending 5 years in prison for being in arrears on child support. Because it's tough, man. Most men don't make enough. Most men do not make enough to keep up with the child support and to live. And to live. And then you say, well, why isn't he with the mom? Not all men typically, the stats show men typically want to be with the mom in the beginning. But again, she uses that child to basically control that man. And so these men are like, I can't take this shit. Just like men cannot take when they find out that the kid isn't theirs. Now, in this next video clip, I'm going to show you the next couple video clips. I want to show you how it affects men. Because women think that men don't care. Even the Pookies, some of the Pookies and quote unquote Ray Rays, they actually do care. They want to care. But these women look at child support and look at, they look at it as a come up. And I want you to realize something about that last clip. Is what I just told you guys. That woman said, I do know who the father is and I keep in touch with him all the time. This woman committed paternity fraud and had no qualms about it. So if you're a woman watching this and you want to know why men are asking for a DNA test, before you get in your feelings, think about the statistics. Think about how devastating it is for a man to find out that a kid isn't his, much less paying for a kid that is not his. Let's get to the next video. I'll get to your comments. I wanted to show you guys that clip because I wanted y'all to see the pain that man was going through figuring out that that kid wasn't his. Men do care. Men want to have their own children. But there was something that he said that stood out to me when I saw this video clip, which is why I downloaded it. He said, I took out a loan to take care of this kid. Now think about these hospital costs to have a kid. You're talking like $15,000, $16,000, $20,000. And if there's any type of you talk about for her paying for the hospital room, any type of complications, this could get very expensive to have a child. And this man talked about taking out a loan to take care of a baby that ain't even his, that he gonna have to pay back. And he's probably not gonna recoup a lot of that money. Like the courts don't. I haven't seen too many cases where the courts allow a man to recoup that money after it's lost. Is that the man's fault for this, women? When y'all get in these comments and you say men need to take care of their kids, and I'm not saying a man shouldn't, but I'm saying there's a lot of lying ass women out there who know dudes ain't their father. And yet you'll have women say that mandatory DNA testing, oh, it's going, that just hurt my feelings. Or, it insults me. This is why men are getting it. Let me catch a couple of these comments. Please don't say in prison and arrears in the same sentence. Right? You're right. These women need to be held fully accountable for ruining men's lives with their lies. Shout out to Above, Beyond, and Forever. Thank you for coming through. Loyal supporter of the channel. I don't talk to any American females overseas when I see them. Black, white, any race. Timothy, I get you, brother. Unqualified immunity. Hell yeah, end it. Thank you for coming through. In Tennessee, my ex left 4 years ago with my 3 kids, and I haven't seen or heard from her in 4 years, and I still pay child support. You know what? Unqualified immunity. Thank you for actually sharing that with the gents today and our audience today, because a lot of this don't get talked about. Men have no rights, even though they're going to say that a man needs to be on the hook for child support. Men don't have a right to see their kids, even when it's 50-50 custody. Because that woman has possession, what they say, possession is 9/10 of the law. Because the women have possession, even with 50-50 custody, how does a man make that happen? You go through the courts and you pay thousands of dollars. I've seen men in the military pay thousands of dollars to get access back to their kids and wind up losing the cases. So now they're down money. They're struggling now, all because they tried to see their kids. So you have a lot of men that just say, F it. I don't have the time nor the patience. And I'm not going to even lie to y'all. I'm not going to even hold y'all. I was in that same situation. I had the money to take care of my kids. I didn't have the money necessarily to fight for them, for the potential of a loss, because all it was going to do is set me back from being able to help my children. Now, I'm going to share something with you guys. I have been paying child support for my kids. Well, 2 of my kids are grown and I have 1 more, right? But I've been paying child support since 2002. We are coming up on 22 years of me paying at least $1,000 a month. At least $1,000 a month I've been paying for 22 years without missing a payment ever. I've never missed a payment in 22 years. Now imagine what that money could be doing if we could have been working together. Me and the moms could have been working together. Could have saved up for them children. Damn, man. Yeah. Susan Bossy is a great family court activist. Okay. Any of y'all need that? Look up this woman. Thank you, Timothy. No, I have the kids and still pay. Oh my God. This dude has his children and is still required to pay child support. Now, in qualified immunity, and for the rest of you guys out there, when my children were 15 years old and I knew I wasn't going out to sea anymore, I asked my ex for the kids. I've told you guys this on the live stream before. I've asked for my kids, and I was willing to keep paying child support. I just wanted an opportunity to be able to raise my kids and possibly even get them into college while I was still making 6 figures and stuff like that. Okay. I was like, look, let them come stay with me. I'll still pay you child support. Let them have time with their dad. And my ex told me that would be too easy for him. That's what she said. What does that mean? That'd be too easy for him. And I told y'all before, these mothers don't want the kids to go with the fathers and for them to do well because it would make them feel like a failure. All right? 22 years times 12 months times $1,000 per month. Yep. It's a lot of money, man. It's a lot of money. Exactly. I pay to keep her away and the bad influence. Well, good for you. You know what? It sucks that you're paying it, but you got your kids, man. I would give up. They always try to say, well, you know, you're just going to have this fun. You got this fun life and blah, blah, blah. I would give up whatever fun life that my exes think that I have to be a full-time dad to my kids. All day, every day, right? But don't come to me in the end asking me to do that. Don't come to me when shit is hard. Yeah, imagine having that money in a credit union or stock market. Timothy, I think about it all the time. All right, let's get to this real quick. Now, this right here, I want y'all to see this lesson. This is why DNA testing results is very important.
Kelly, thank you. One man's life going through some unnecessary legal drama. This after receiving a letter that he had fathered a child with a woman he'd never even met. Now vindication of sorts. It's a follow-up to a story I brought you earlier this year on his legal fight and what comes next.
She don't know me. How did you just put my name down? How did you just put anybody's name down? I don't know her, never seen her. Still to this day, haven't talked to her. And it just proved out that the baby has no ties to my name. Thankfully, the lady did bring the child in to get tested. And that's all I needed to happen.
This letter from friend of the court reads in part, Dear Mr. Smith, enclosed is a copy of the genetic test results, excluding you as the father.
Let's just set the record. I trust my husband.
Thank God you do.
Man of integrity.
Now, what if that woman saying that that man was the child's father would have ruined this man's marriage? You know how jacked up that is?
I would like to say relief, but it's kind of like confirmation, really, because I already knew that I had no ties and no links to this child or this woman. And to have that letter come to my house, it was a little unnerving, but not from the standpoint of being caught up in something. It was a little unnerving that, a letter like this could come to my house having no legitimacy to it.
We first brought you the story of D'Angelo Smith in late January when he presented some wild allegations against friend of the court in Berrien County. The initial letter sent to his home stated, a woman who we are not naming alleging him to be the father of her daughter, a child between the age of 1 and 2 years old.
She's a stripper from Detroit. We had a one-night stand at some hotel that we supposed to have been and went to. And this is a story that was told to me.
While playing the waiting game for the alleged mother to bring in the baby for a DNA sample, the school where D'Angelo Smith teaches received an inquiry for possible garnishment if things did not go in his favor.
Where it made it not something that was being alleged. Now it's something that's being taken into action. And there's no paternity been established.
But clearly, these test results confirm that to no longer be the case.
With that being said, strong marriage or not, clean past or not, that's a very tough letter for anyone to receive.
Absolutely.
Without any proof.
Absolutely. It is. It is. The main things that they have to provide to the state of Michigan is a name and a birth date and where they live. That's easy information for someone to gather off of Google, off of Facebook, off of any kind of social media platform.
People who have checkered pasts, who have done things in the past, who have, stepped out and did things that was unbecoming of a real man, right? And so, but they changed and they've cleaned up their act and they've gotten better, which all of us have the opportunity of doing or getting better. But a letter like this coming to that house, a man that has changed his ways, that has walked in a different direction, this letter could be absolutely devastating because of what you've done before.
We made several calls.
Yeah, think about that. Let's say that you were a little wayward. Let's say you were out there bad at one point. But men get out of that, right? Eventually, some men get out of that. I know I've gotten out of that. I told you I'm a trout mouth heathen. I always haven't been the good guy, right? But if you made the effort to be a better man, and then you have this DNA, some paternity thing come to your house or your job, and you trying to do right by your woman, this here could ruin your family. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why DNA testing is mandatory. All right? This is why it's mandatory. I'm going to catch a couple of these comments. Shout out to Rando Ganja. Hey, man, always great to see you. He said, salute Sean in the chat. Thank you for coming through. Qualified means that this happens a lot. Yep, absolutely. God created the family and the devil or the world wants to destroy the family. Yes, there is and I say it all the time in this channel, there is a concerted effort to ruin families in this country. Left wing, right wing, it's the same bird. I'm telling you. Everybody saying salute. Defamation and or slander. Yep. Shout out to Andre and Andre Love Crossing Borders. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please go over there and subscribe to this channel right now. Andre, this brother always puts out great information on his channel. Also, if you want to learn about living overseas, Andre always comes with the real. And you're going to get some good stuff. So go subscribe to that channel if you're not subscribed. He said, even if you find a good Winsboro in the state, you still won't find good laws in the states. Yep, absolutely. Don't sugarcoat it. Just say lies and false accusations. We start as husbands, then fathers, then visitors, and finally just a paycheck. You know what? In qualified immunity, that is absolutely a great way to put it. Steve says, Fatal Attraction is a movie every man should see. You never know when you'll hook up with a psychopath. Facts. Okay? All right, let's finish. Let's see what else they got to say.
To lawmakers in Lansing who are familiar with this particular topic.
Michigan has harsh child support laws.
Unfortunate, but paternity fraud is not a unique, unusual situation in Michigan.
Yeah, so then why y'all pass these harsh laws? Why do y'all make men in Michigan pay so much money? Okay? And I know that's where my son is at right now, Michigan.
Senator Jim Runstead tells me he's been pushing for new legislation on the matter during the past 8 years, saying right now there's no penalty for lying.
Senator, what was the opposition for not passing this kind of legislation?
Well, maybe it would hinder mothers who don't want to name a particular guy or they made a mistake, but you had to knowingly name the wrong person. It becomes emotional stuff.
Respectfully, to mandate that DNA testing for the child is conducted first before a letter is sent to someone's home alleging they may be the father of a child regarding a woman whom they have never met, doesn't that seem like common sense type of legislation?
I tell you, Joshua, the common sense goes out the window. I'd be more than happy to put that bill in. And I'm telling you, it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee.
Listen,
I'll guarantee you, it wouldn't even get a hearing in committee. I ran across this before.
No, stop right there. Did you hear what he said? Right? Before you guys say that one side or the other is bad, I want you to hear what he said. If he tried to put that bill even in a committee, the committee won't have enough votes to send it to the floor. This is happening in a lot of states, gents. There is no push by conservatives or liberals to push this type of legislation because it doesn't benefit women. And if it doesn't benefit women, these places are going to lose votes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do not believe that one side of the government or the other has your best interest in mind, because they absolutely do not. They only care about the money. Only go back and think about that video clip I showed earlier where the man went to jail for 5 years for not paying child support for a kid that wasn't his. This is about money, and child support allows these judges to be able to retire. Do you understand? These judges are getting paid off of the child support scam. Press says, and that's exactly the problem with these women. They'll get to lie on the man and get away with it scot-free. This will let you know, yes, she did not know the father was. She was out there. Does she have to go to the father? Go. The father was, she was out there. Does she have to go to the father where the father was? I'm not reading that correctly. So sorry about that, Eric, but thank you for being here. Andre says, good woman. Oh, yeah, the woman that's standing up for her husband? Absolutely. I don't miss the states. I know you don't, Andre. I know you don't. Andre, I'm gonna drop a link here because I want, if anybody wants to come up and talk about it, I'm gonna drop a link so we can have a discussion about it. I know I haven't dropped a link in a while, but I'm gonna drop a link. So if anybody wants to come up and then, tell a story, what they've seen, what they know, I want us to have a robust discussion on this today. That'll let you know that she was out there. She didn't know who the father was, that she had to get the imaginary first and last name off of Facebook. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Eric. Gotcha. Hit that like button. Yes, people, hit that like button. That supports the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. And that's crazy. This chick was in Detroit on the east side of the state. This man lived in Benton Harbor on the west side of the state. So they weren't even in the same part of the state. And this woman, okay, I see you, Andre. Okay. We'll still be on. I still got a little bit more to talk about. Let's get back to this video, right? And I'm gonna get that link down there after we go through all the videos, okay?
Only reason I believe that this woman came in was because of Fox 2. Fox 2 provided a platform where the word got out and this word spread it like wildfire quickly to the point where the lady came in. Now I asked the courts, the friend of the courts about bringing her in. They said, well, we just have to wait until she comes in.
The court wasn't even interested in finding this woman so a DNA test could be performed. It was because of the news on this happened was the only reason she got called out. So she went, and that was the only reason. Public pressure.
But I thank God that Fox 2 provided a platform where the lady was able to come in, but everybody does not have that opportunity for Fox 2 to show up at their doorstep to help them out.
A lot to wrap your head around, guys. Real quick, as we did in our initial story, we called friend of the court for a comment, but have not heard back. In the meantime, Senator Jim Runstead tells me if you're caught in a similar situation, your best option is to hire an attorney if possible. Also, and this is very key, reach out to your lawmakers. The senator says more bipartisanship is much needed on this very touchy matter.
Did you hear what he said? Bipartisanship is needed. Both sides. Stop this argument about, oh, if the liberals do this, or, oh, these conservatives don't get that out your head. They are not for us. This is both liberal and conservative judges that are passing these judgments. It's both. They get paid off of it. Get your mind out of the goddamn matrix. Get it out of the matrix. You guys think that that one side or the other is on you. That's why this is a apolitical channel. This is a channel for men and men's rights and for the women who support them. I heard Michigan is the capital of paternity fraud. Yep, I have too. I truly hope they're doing the no-fault divorce for every state and that women start paying for child support. Hey, Preston, no-fault divorce is the problem that we're in now, right? Because it's no fault, then they still just come up with a judgment. If it was a fault state and the women were found to be liars, then something could be done, but this no-fault divorce takes blame off of one parent or the other. Now, if you are a man who is wayward with your member downstairs, then yeah, no-fault divorce might help you out, but it won't because you're still gonna have to pay. But no-fault divorce helps women who are guilty of paternity fraud, who are guilty of going and laying with another man. When that man had no clue he was about to get a divorce judgment on him, no-fault divorce keeps cheaters from having judgment against them. Family court equal cash for kids. Absolutely. All right. So I want to show you guys this report. Now, one of you guys talked about, and I'm sorry, I forgot which one of you it was, talked about they tried to pass, there's 2 laws that they tried to pass in Tennessee. One was similar to the one that we started this live stream about. That law was actually going to try to hold men accountable for taking care of a child from conception. There's another law that's out there, but I want you to see this whole thing, okay? I'm going to read one more. Bring back fault divorce. Yeah, absolutely. Men only find justice when women volunteer their accountability. This may be the only crime which requires a confession from the guilty party to move forward. Yep. Let me put this up on the screen. Let's listen to it.
New tonight, a bill proposed in the Tennessee state legislature could make it mandatory now for fathers out of wedlock to take a DNA test before signing a birth certificate.
That would be good.
Fox 13 government reporter Kayla Solomon joins us live. Kayla, this bill was discussed and passed in a House committee today. And, you know, it goes back. There have been advocates who said it could solve a lot of problems if it were just the first thing that happens for all babies.
Yes.
That's right, Merle. And this is also coming on the heels of another child support reform bill that was recently passed that says if fathers fall behind too much on child support, they can now lose custody of their children.
Did you hear that? There was another bill passed in Tennessee that if fathers fall behind, they're going to go to jail. Ain't that some shit?
Now, I spoke to one Memphis representative who says this is specifically for couples who are not married.
This is a big deal. This is an issue that needs to be fixed.
State Representative Antonio Parkinson says the conception of this bill came from a haircut trip.
You know, I was in the barbershop and this young man stopped me and he said that he was in a long-term relationship. They had a child. They were living together at the time.
Parkinson says the man went on to say that after the kid turned 5, he found out his partner had an affair, and a DNA test later revealed the man was not the child's father after all.
So I'm going to stop it right here just to say this, okay? That man thought the kid was his. He was there for his kid, which goes with the statistics, okay? Goes with the statistics that men try to be in the household in the beginning. 66% of men are with the mother of the child in the beginning. Okay? This is not true for the majority of women. The majority of women don't have that man in the house, but for the majority of men, they are in the house in the beginning. And that's because there are more women than there are men.
When they went to court over the child support, he presented the DNA evidence. The magistrate, and this is in Shelby County Juvenile Court, the magistrate basically banged the gavel down and said, somebody's got to feed them, and it's going to be you.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So even though he had DNA proof that the child wasn't his, the judge said, somebody got to pay for this kid. And Tennessee is another one of those states that is conservative. It is a conservative state. So when you all sit here and say one side or the other, you guys are making a foolish argument. No side is making laws, passing laws, legislating laws that are going to protect men. Nobody. They do not want to lose women voters because of that's why it can't even get up into committee. It can't even get through committee because they know how unpopular it's going to be with women, and they can't afford to lose women voters. That is the problem that's happening right now for one side, for one party right now. They're losing women voters. So they're trying to backtrack and pass laws that are going to benefit women so they can keep as many women from jumping ship as possible instead of doing the right thing by a father. Let's get back to it. And the worst part is just paying for a child that you know ain't yours. That is terrible.
Until he ages out of child support.
Parkinson says the man
Oh,
ended
whoa. Let me back that up.
He found out his partner had an affair, and a DNA test later revealed the man was not the child's father after all.
When they went to court over the child support, he presented the DNA evidence. The magistrate, and this is in Shelby County Juvenile Court, the magistrate basically banged the gavel down and said, somebody's got to feed him, and it's going to be you until he ages out of child support.
Parkinson says the man ended up having to pay up to 5 years in child support as a result, and also ended up losing his license, job, and going to jail temporarily.
This dude, he finds out that the kid ain't his. He winds up leaving her. He can't afford to keep up with the child support, loses his license. Like, how is this right? How is this right, ladies? How is this the man's fault for your indiscretions? But no women are out here fighting for this. No women are out here fighting for this.
Bill 2698 will make it so that if a prospective father wants to voluntarily sign a birth certificate, he has to provide DNA test results first. Parkinson says this doesn't only impact Memphis.
The rural district attorneys were looking for somebody to carry legislation to start reforming our child support system, because it's rural guys that are getting hit with these same laws, and it is hurting them.
And I told you guys earlier, right? In a lot of these states are poor. They're being subsidized by other states. A lot of these states are poor. A lot of the men in these states don't make a lot of money. There just aren't enough good jobs. The pay isn't high enough. These men are just doing what they can to get by in these poorer states. And yet you have laws like this that are designed to extract as much resources. And who does this affect the most? It affects the African American community. And that's why I read that section of the very first article we talked about how does this affect Black folks with these new laws.
Now, I reached out to the Department of Human Services for a response to this, and they did not immediately give me a response. Once we have that, of course, we'll update this.
Did you notice in 2 different reports, when they reach out to them, nobody answers this? You know why? None of the courts, Tennessee, Michigan, Kentucky, you know why these places don't reach out back for comment? Because they know it's a racket. They know that this is going to affect poor income people, which predominantly falls on the Black community.
Story for you. Now, this bill moves on to the Senate floor tomorrow morning. Live in Memphis, Kayla.
Now, I'll be honest, I didn't look up to see if that bill passed. And I don't have time to do it right now while we're live on the air, but if one of you guys want to look it up to see if that Tennessee bill passed, please let me know. But I'm going to wager to say it probably didn't pass. So that was the last clip I have for you guys. I'm going to take some comments, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the chat for anybody who wants to come up and talk about it. Talk about the stories, talk about how they feel about this. I'll give you a few minutes to come up and share with the gents, okay? And please be respectful when you come up here, and watch your language, obviously, okay? I think the mother was right to get the DNA test for her son to do the exact opposite. Yep. Eric Williams, believe me, bro, Michigan is definitely bad. Oh, I know. My father was paying child support for me and my sister for a long time. He can definitely tell you about the friend of the court. It's called friend of the court. Yeah, it's called friend of the court, Eric. I know because I had to call him at one point. Long story on that one, but Michigan does not affect me. Let's put it that way. So thank God, because Michigan takes way more money than a man makes. Like they take so much money, it would be almost hard for a man to be able to fully support his family. Tennessee here, third party, stop fighting with each other. United we stand, divided we fall. Yeah. This is absolutely criminal and just downright disgusting and trifling. It affects the men. Yep, absolutely. I'm going to put a link down in the description. So, gents, I showed you guys earlier, right? We started off with that article that I saw this morning when I woke up about a Kentucky law that's going to make it where men have to be able to pay child support that can be retroactively provided to the woman from birth retroactively from birth, and she has until the child turns one, not 1 plus a day, but 1, to get all costs that are incurred by that woman repaid to that woman, right? So, this is crazy, gents. This is crazy. And there are a lot of women who are using the system. They are abusing the system. And I want to show you guys something. All right? Hold up. I want to show you guys. Nope, not that one. This is the hold on real quick, you guys. I'm looking for a video clip real quick. What video clip is that? Nope, that ain't it. Okay, right here. I need this video clip this is from a video I put out on the 24th of January. All right. I want to show you guys, dudes want to be involved in their kids' life. They do. Check this out. Now, this dude, you can tell he a hood dude, but look how he feels about his daughter. Check this out.
In the morning, had a little father-daughter breakfast. Something to me, boy. For real. I was legit, boy. I used to always have them father-daddy shit, you feel me? Nigga my daddy couldn't never be there, you feel me? Couldn't never be there. So, being up for my little girl, bro, good little pancakes and sausage, boy. That's all it took, little pancakes and sausage. And seeing the smile on her face, dog. Telling everybody, I go my daddy, I go my daddy, I go my daddy. Proud to say that I'm my daddy. Proud, walking around telling everybody, it's my daddy right here, this is my daddy.
I wanted to show you gents that clip for one reason. Sorry, I let that go too far. All right, that is another clip from this video. Again, I want to show you how women weaponize the child support system. Okay, check this out.
I don't care. I don't care. You don't care. You taking care of other people's kids. You get $1,200 for what? Yes, because I need all that money. I need it all. I need every penny I can get. Yep. Now you can see your kids once a week instead of seeing them all the time. Whenever you feel like it.
Did you hear that? Now, I put this in my recent video on Friday. I just put a snippet in there. But the reason why I put that clip in on Friday's video is listen what she's saying, man. She is straight saying that you see your kids all the time. I'm going to put you on child support. And now just because you have a new woman and you got, you over there being dad to that woman and her family, I'm going to put you on child support. And now you don't get to see your kids all the time. I mean, women are evil, man. Women are creating their own situations and then get mad at men for it. Let's finish playing this. And then I'm going to bring up Steve here in a little bit.
Oh well, at least I'm getting paid. At least I'm getting paid. Did you want to be laid up with some other girl? Yeah, you got me messed up. Now, stop doing that. No, because that's what you get. You embarrass me. You embarrass me. You embarrass me. You embarrassing me. I don't care. I don't care. They can look all they want. Oh well. I can't believe you, dog. Oh well. Now, yeah, 1,200 a week. Yeah. No, I'm gonna egg this one on. Yep, I'm gonna be buying plenty stuff with that money. You know what I could do with that? Do you know what I could do with that? Yeah. Since you want to be taking care of other people's kids, you ain't gonna be taking care of nobody's kids but mine.
You see how selfish? That is crazy, man. She was like, you know what I'm gonna do with that money? She not talking about this gonna go to help the kids. She's talking about how she gonna spend it. She gonna get her hair done, right? You got this is probably one of them women out there stunting. Like they doing better than you. Like, oh, men are broke and this, that, and the third. When a lot of women are millionaires due to divorce, all these women that got these houses, divorce, okay? Yes, there are some women doing better. There are some black women that are doing great, and power to you, sisters. Get it. But to sit here and have this attitude like you better than a man, especially if you're a woman who acquired what you have, your resources from a man because the court helped you out, don't sit here and act like that's a flex. Because that means you are not a strong, independent woman that you claim to be. And you're definitely not better than any goddamn man. Steve, you didn't want to come up, bro? Uncle Fire, thank you for coming through. Mandated child support doesn't contribute to judges' retirements. There won't be any reason for unfair judgments. They're not going to do that. System's rigged. I agree with you, Uncle Fire, but I'm going to tell you the system's rigged, so they ain't going to care about that. Okay, disregard. All right. I left the link down there in the description for anybody who want to come up. So let me know. Let me know. Okay. I can't wait to see these old bats stuff into nursing homes. Why child support hurting black men more than others? Are black men just weak? Orlando's, it's not that. Okay. The reason, Orlando's, is most of the children that are being created in the black community are being created from less than 20% of the men. And the less than 20% of the men are usually the men who aren't doing well for themselves. And even I have proven that even men who who have a job, even men who have a job find themselves in situations where once they start paying child support, they aren't even able to take care of themselves. Because 51% of black men are single and childless. So, I'm going to bring Andre from Love Crossing Borders up in a second. Let me catch a couple more of these comments. Wisdom Headley. This has nothing to do with losing votes. It has to do with power control. By the way, these DNA tests are not what many think. Doesn't matter. There should be laws helping out men. Do you know what I can do with it? Yup. They don't care about these kids. They certainly don't. Shout out, Juju. $1,200 a week? Damn. Yeah, go watch that video if you guys haven't seen it. It didn't do that well on this channel, but a lot of times when I try to bring up these videos that try to bring awareness to men, it don't get the views. So y'all need to start supporting these videos. My kids, not to be confused with our kids. Yep, Steve. $1,200 a week for 52 weeks, $62,000 a year. That's a lot of money. Family courts, yep. 18% to be exact. Yep, 18% of these men are having kids or are creating all the kids in the black community. While 57% of black men don't have kids. Yeah, something like that. It's over 50%. Yeah, Orlando's. It's not about men being weak. It's about these women are laying up with these Pookies and Ray Rays. I'm about to bring up a very esteemed guest. I'm going to bring up Andre from Love Crossing Borders. What up, my brother? How you doing today, my
What's
man?
up, brother?
I am glad to have you on here, man. First of all, I want you to introduce yourself. Most people who that's on my channel probably already know you, but I'll let you introduce yourself and your channel and tell the brothers what you're about and what you think about this.
Yeah. My name is Andre of Andre and Andrea's Love Crossing Borders. Andre and Andrea's Mostly Money. Andre Wallace TV, Travel Unraveled TV, as well as what's our other channel? Goodness gracious, we got so
You
many
got that many
channels.
channels, Andre? Look at that.
Man,
Look
brother.
at that.
Oh, America, we need to talk. So we've got those 5 channels that are doing excellent. And I live currently in Cali, Colombia. I've been living here 6 years, married 5 years, travel the world. We just got back from Europe for an excellent trip, as well as we're getting ready to head to Southeast Asia real soon. So looking forward to that trip as well. So we help individuals find love across borders or fall in love with the borders that you cross, because some people aren't necessarily looking for love. You just looking to fall in love with a new location, with a new life. And so we help guys in regards to doing that part and not necessarily just looking for that special person, but that special life. And when it comes to this topic, man, I've been first of all, thank you for having me on your show, man. You and I are off cameras, you know, we're already dudes.
Yeah.
I think this might be my first or second time on camera with you.
Yeah. It might be 2 or 3 times because we also crossed on other channels and stuff.
That's true. Shout
out to K&D.
Shout out to K&D in the building. Shout out. Yes, sir. And also make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. And I don't know what y'all doing embarrassing us in front of the company, but if y'all don't get those super chats up, I don't know what's going on. I tried to send a super chat and I was having complications, but I'll try that again. But let's make sure we support Black male media. Like I always say, if it was Danica Marie up here or Six the Goddess, and we were sticking our chests out for you guys with y'all had the super chats in the 100s and 200s. So make sure you support our brothers, man. Go ahead, buy this brother a beer, man. Buy this brother a meal. By supporting
I appreciate that, Andre. I put everything that goes to this channel back into the channel, bro.
That's basically what we do too.
I am not profiting. I'm not profiting off of this.
Man, it took us 4 years or 5 years of YouTube to actually make a profit. It took us 4 years or 5 years. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely correct, because if I would have gotten my act together in the first year and a half I was doing YouTube, this channel probably would be doing better right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know that feeling.
But yeah. So Andre, man, tell us. Have you heard any stories before like this where men go through this kind of stuff? Have you had any partners, anything like that had any horror stories with child support or paternity fraud or anything like that? Because most of us do. Most of us know at least one dude, if not going through it ourselves.
Yeah, I've got a few people that I've known, and notice I use the term few, that I've known that either found out that they weren't the fathers until later on in the child's life, or they found out, or they were still paying back rearage of child support. For example, my uncle, a lot of people don't know this. For example, a lot of men think you can't get your passport if you pay child support. I'll say that again. A lot of men have been programmed to think, I don't care what the ladies are thinking about you guys, but a lot of men assume that since I have child support to pay, I can't get a passport. That's not true. Every state rearage limit is different. So my uncle found out in the state of Michigan that the rearage limit was $1,000. So as long as he got his back child support, now mind you, he's a grandfather.
Okay. Oh,
that's how long they've been trying to get child support money from him. His daughters are over 30 years old.
Wow.
He's got grandkids. His daughters are married. And the state still realizes that there's so much money. A lot of guys don't realize there is so much money that's made after your child turns 18 and you still owe all that back support.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money that's made by the states. That money doesn't even go to the child and the mother anymore per se. And most of it goes directly to the state. And so he found out that all he needs to do was pay, get under $1,000 in back rearage, which he wasn't far away from that. And he was able to get his passport. I know other guys in the state of Florida, the rearage is $750. They got under $750 of back pay or in regards to child support, and they were able to get their passports. So it's not true what women are telling you and what others are telling you that you can't get your passport if you owe back child support. That's not true. Just find out what your state limitation number is, and then get under that by, if only by $1, and you can get your passport. And so just to sit back and see grown adult men with gray hair like I have and no hair like I have still paying child support as if his daughters are 8 years old, that's uncalled for. Still be in a position of where if he misses a payment, he could lose his job, he could lose his freedom, he could still lose his passport if he hadn't got under the limitations. Even in his 50s, that's how unfair the laws are. That's why I said earlier, men, hear me out. You may find a good lady in the States. Say it again and hear me out. But you will not find good laws in the States. Your woman can be the best of the best of the best. I'm talking about hazel eyes, dimples. She's got a cleft. She stays in the gym. She's fit, feminine, friendly. She's got a giant curly afro. I'm telling you, she is it. She's the nicest boy. She can still take you to court.
Yep.
And the courts will try to convince her. You notice in the story that they said that in the headline that you were saying, that if any man is in this situation, one of the things we recommend is that you hire an attorney. The first thing I heard was the first thing that we recommend is that you do is spend more money. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that you are going to be you're going to win or be validated, or that you won't have to pay this back child support for a child that's not yours. They're telling you right out the gate, bruh, because you decide to stay in the United States, and because you decide to get Keisha or LaWanda, because it doesn't even matter. We're not even talking about just a hood chick. There are women that are well off that are doing men like this. Ask these young NBA players.
Yep.
And they still want you to come on now. These young NBA players are just as naive with some successful IG women as these guys are going through it with hood women. So we can't just say it's just Aisha, Keisha, LaWanda in the hood. There are women that have degrees that are putting men through the exact same thing. And you notice the one thing that she said, and this is very common among women. She said, you're going to pay $1,200 a month. You ain't take care of nobody else's kid and all those women you were sleeping with. Do you know how many stories I've heard of men saying that the reason why the woman put him on child support because she saw him with his new girlfriend or his new wife, or the child or the children like the new girlfriend or like the new wife.
Oh yeah.
And so vengefully, they put these men on child support quite often.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I have a partner who, to touch on something you talked about, but I have a partner who tried to be in his kid's life. The mom pretty much disappeared and held the kids away from him. He was talking to his mom about it, and his mom was like, yeah, we're gonna find the kids, we're gonna find the kids. Fast forward, somehow he winds up finding a number and to his son, and he starts talking to his son, and he can hear his mom in the background. And come to find out, his mom knew where the kids were at the whole time. So he was looking for his kids, trying to find his kids, and the mom knew the whole time. So it took a while for him to repair and patch up things with his son. Well, he got his son back on board, but the other kids don't understand. And the second part about that is, sometime later, when the kids were getting older, teenagers, actually some of his kids were grown, and then she decided to put him on child support. So now this dude is on child support and all his kids are grown.
But then they want to convince us brothers that got passports that we're foolish for leaving the States, that you can't find a good woman. Like I said, you can find a good woman in the States. That's not the problem. You can't find good laws in the States. I give you a perfect example. You were talking about separations earlier, and the woman getting a certain percentage of money or in regards to separations or divorce or child support. You can't do that here in Colombia. As a married man here in Colombia, there is no fault divorces. My wife can't just I can't, and my wife can't just up one day and say, I'm tired of this marriage, I'm out of here. Like in the States, you can't do that in Colombia. In a lot of countries,
Oh.
you can't do that. In
That's
Colombia, it's set up like, or it's even worse. If I or my wife dare to try to not work it out, and we now Colombia is like this: you can only file a divorce if you have physically separated for at least 2 years. Now there's proof to them that you guys aren't trying to work it out. But to just get up one day and say, I don't want to be with you, I won't have your stuff, it doesn't work like that here in Colombia. And so the other thing, the other thing about Colombia is, if my wife or if I ever dare to get up in the morning and say, I don't want to be with you no more, I want to be with my side chick, my wife can sue me.
Oh,
my wife could literally sue me for everything, not half, everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they don't play with that when it comes to marriage here. That's why Colombia has a 9% divorce rate, because a woman can't just get up one morning and say, I'm taking half your stuff and the kids. It doesn't work like that here. And a lot of countries have the exact same laws. It doesn't work like that here. I mean, it doesn't work like it does in the States, where a woman could just wake up one morning and just destroy your life.
And listen, most men get married with the intention of, I'm here, you my woman, I'm doing this for life. Okay. For a man to get to the point that he say, I'm going to marry you, I've said this on one of my last videos. A man gets married with the intention of, I am okay with this relationship as it is for the rest of my life. And I like to claim as it is, because, withholding relations, now I'm getting this back talk and this attitude. Men are marrying the woman that they are with in the moment. And women marry a man based on the potential of what she can get, or the security that she feels she can have from that dude. Okay. Not in all cases, but you know what I mean? But yeah, man, this. So what do you think about this Kentucky law? Where
go ahead.
Regards to them being this law passed, that's why I started this live stream. This law passed where it's talking about men having to start paying child support from conception. And the woman has, from 1 year, she has to file for child support within that first year, or from conception to that first year, and she can get child support.
I don't. The old Andre, before I left the States, would have been angry and sided with the men, and sided, and would have been more like, oh, the ladies are this and that. I realize now, from doing my homework and then being in political arena for quite a while, as far as research is concerned, I know that it's not the women per se, and I know it's not the men's fault per se. It's the government making all the money. So the government says,
I stated that earlier. I stated that earlier. So I said watch for the okie doke, but this was real quick, Andre. This was the Kentucky Senate passes bill to grant right to collect child support for unborn children. So that's where we started this live stream with this right here. And
it's going to spread.
Just real quick, right. And it said the Republican-led Kentucky Senate voted overwhelmingly Tuesday to grant the right to collect child support for unborn children, advancing a bill that garnered bipartisan support. The measure would allow a parent to seek child support up to a year after giving birth to retroactively cover pregnancy expenses. How do you feel that this bill is going to affect the Black community?
It's going to sink it more further into the pit of poverty that it already is. It's already difficult enough to try to bring Black women and Black men together on an economic scale to do some amazing things. But then when you sit back and say, well, hey, if they've got enough money to spend $1+ trillion on Jordans and weaves, let's get a little bit more of that money. How about we just think about it, let's just push the date back, because that's all they did. Instead of having it from the time that the child was born for child support, let's just push it back by 9 months and see how much more money we can get. And another state is going to look like, hey, that's a good idea. How about we do it? And then it'll be in Michigan, and then it'll be in Florida, and then it'll be in California, and then all of a sudden it'll be a nationwide, on average per state. It'll be in Wyoming before you know about it. And you guys will still sit up there and try to convince us brothers that left those laws that we made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And the guys that sit back and a lot of these baby mamas, really, guys, come on. Some of y'all baby mamas, man, they look more like baby grandmamas. They built like great. They built like linebackers, and you got to pay for that for the rest of your life. You can't even introduce your baby mama to your boys because your baby mama look like,
oh my God.
You can't be, your baby mama look like she's still holding on the baby weight from the first baby, second baby, and third baby. And you got to pay child support on that. And I know I'm sounding facetious, but what I'm saying is a lot of you guys don't realize through child support, you have legally married yourself to a person financially. Even though you may marry somebody else and have a great life, this person is in your life for L. So when you guys decide, I don't like how condoms feel, and I don't want to wrap it up, or I was drunk that night, it all sounds good on paper, but when you start coming out your paper, that's when you start to realize that was a mistake that I made, and it was not worth having a drunk night out with that big chick. So, guys, I'm serious, because what we're gonna have to do as men to start being, since the laws and the ladies aren't on our team, then the only individual that's on our team is ourselves, and we're gonna have to be a little bit more wiser with the type of women that we lay down with, and how we protect ourselves. I remember when I was a stepdad, I kid you not, and I was a stepdad for 14 years in the States. Now, me and my ex-wife were really still cool. Step kids are excellent kids. I wouldn't be a stepfather again, but my point in saying this is,
I'm in the same situation, Drake. Same situation.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't regret it now, but I wouldn't do it again.
No. 61% of all co-parenting couples divorce. You know, the regular couples divorce at 51%. Co-parenting couples divorce at 66%. And of those 66% that divorce, 61%, and I'll send you the article that was written by a law firm. 61% of those divorces are filed by men, like I did. As a stepdad, I filed for a divorce. And then the article also says 75% of all stepmothers said, I would never do it again in life. They may not file as fast as the men, but they said that if I had a second chance, I would not do it. 75% of all women said they would not become a stepmom, and 61% of men that are stepdads file for the divorce. Where when regular marriages, only like 10 to 20% of men file for a divorce.
Right. Let me put this up real quick. Chosen with the $10 super chat. Thank you.
Chosen. Yeah,
man. Chosen been a real one for a very long time. He said that child support got me too. I'm
living or loving or loving.
Oh, I'm assuming he said locked in for another 11 years.
Oh, locked in. Man, goodness gracious, bro.
I'm locked in for another 11 years. Yeah, man.
You can't file bankruptcy on it. You can't do nothing but just come out that paper, man. You can't run from it. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide.
Let me catch a couple of these real quick. Steve says fat chicks get pregnant just to prove somebody would sleep with them. Tommy Sotomayor.
Shout out to Tommy.
Oh, I meant locked into paying another. Yeah, I caught it, man. I read between the lines. I've been doing this long enough now. It's called the Icky Vicky trying to compare Izzy versus Lizzie. Oh, here comes Preston with the rhymes. Preston always got the rhymes.
Preach, Preston.
I'm co-parenting with an erotic boss chick. It's torture. Yeah, man. There's so many men that actually go through this. I have another question for you. So a lot of men are out, put out here that DNA testing should be mandatory. And obviously we're starting to see, we know the numbers, anywhere from 33% to more. I believe it's more. are fathering a child that's not theirs. So what do you think? Well, you just talked about one of the things, right? You talked about, hey, men need to wrap it up, need to be cautious. But in terms of our lawmakers, right? You said you do a political channel. What do men need to understand about the politics of why there's no mandatory DNA testing, why there isn't paternity fraud, why men are getting hit with these judgments that they may not understand? Because in my comments, men want to make it like it's a left or a right thing. So what have you seen through your political analysis and going through this stuff?
Quite often what you were showing earlier, that even it's in the judge's discretions. So even if they passed a law, boom, mandatory tests at birth. Just like in that headline that you just showed, the dude came with the paperwork. Here you go, judge. I'm not the daddy. What did the judge say? I don't give a dang. You the daddy as far as paying this child support. I need a new boat, and you're going to help pay for it. So even if the law says mandatory tests, that doesn't mean anything. There'll be millions of dudes jumping up and down, millions of women crying. They're doing mandatory tests, and guess what's going to change? Nothing. Because the judges are still going to be the same judges and still have the same power and the same rights. Don't fall for this, guys. Nothing's going to change. That headline you showed, it was an exact, and it's kind of funny. In Al Gree's second movie, Frustrated 2, which is about the child support system, there were men that had proof that were married in other couples and married to somebody else, had never met these women.
Right.
Literally crying in front of the judge saying, I have all the paperwork right here. How is it that you're still destroying my family? Because I got a boat to pay for.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of guys don't realize. So you got a choice. You pay for a condom as a man, or you pay for the judge's boat, but you gonna make a payment.
But
so I'm gonna say this again.
Pay one way.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Men in the United States think that you can just bust and suck up in everything, but you can't these days. It ain't like the 90s. It ain't like the 80s. It ain't like the 70s. It is the years of the women in the United States. So you might as well suck that up, guys. It is a matriarchic country in which you live in. I live in a patriotic country, so I know the difference. And you guys live in a matriarchic company where a country, or it's a company, but country where women vote, have the strongest voting rights because they vote more than men statistically.
Right.
Women go out there to the voting polls more than men. Women are on an uphill climb when it comes to political power. So now it's not just he as a senator, it's she, and LGBTQ as your senators now.
Yeah.
So, and the male senators are aging out, getting too old. The Mitch McConnells, the Mitt Romneys, the President Bidens, the President Trumps are aging out, and these young women are coming up. Whether they're getting in trouble or not, Fanny, doesn't matter. They're still being put in power. What's my point? This is the era, guys, where now you have to use a condom, not just for disease. Houston, we have a problem with your syphilis, but also to protect you from having to pay 18. I'm gonna tell you something. If I lived in the States, man, I will be investing in so many condoms. I have condoms everywhere. I'll be giving away, dude. You talking about a condom giveaway? Dudes be looking at me like I'm crazy. Like everybody get a condom. I be giving away condoms like I was Oprah giving away cars. There is no way I'm busting her. And I'm gonna tell you something. She can love you in the States. She can say you're the greatest man that she ever had. Let her get pregnant. It doesn't work out with you and her, and let her see you with the new chick. And you'll see a side to that woman that you laying next to right now while you're watching this live stream. Yeah, some of you guys are sitting right next to the woman that will take you for everything, and you don't think that she will because she's so sweet and innocent with her little glasses on that she got on right now. You have to protect yourself as a man.
No, absolutely. And I want to answer two things. The first one is when I was a young man coming up, right? Every coat, every bag glove compartment, right? I had them everywhere. You know what I mean? Wherever I was traveling, I had some on me. You keep them in your back pocket or your wallet. You keep them in your coat, right? The point is, you cannot be scared to use it, because again, I told y'all, I've paid over $250,000 in child support over the past 22 years. Over $250,000. Y'all saw the math earlier. What you could do with that money if you said, okay, $1,000 a month, and you put it in some type of something that's yielding, 5 to 10% over that same amount of time, you'd be a millionaire.
Yes, you would.
You'd be a millionaire.
Yes, you would.
So I wish younger me would have known that. Actually, younger me had some money that I had invested. And because of something that came up, I had to pull that money out. And then we wind up getting a divorce anyway. So now I'm asked out because I don't have my investment anymore. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the first thing. The second thing you said something about was, I don't think men realize how, or actually, let me say this. I don't think women realize how having a prenup would actually benefit them. And the reason why I say that is, you see these women out here, and Andre, you may have seen it too, these clips where these women are stacking money on the side away from their husband knowledge.
Yep.
I did a video on it once, right? They stacking this money, but if they had the prenup, they wouldn't have to do that. That could be something written into it, right? It would be something to protect them. Now, they're still protected by the state and everything, but you as a man want to have that prenup in place if you decide to get married for the sole purpose of this. You want to have that prenup in place while y'all still loving each other, everything's still good, y'all not in your feelings. Because I'm going to tell you, once you go through a divorce, most of them are not amicable.
No.
The person will be gone. That will not be the woman that you marry. So do it when you are in love, when you want to protect each other, when she wants to protect you and you want to protect her. But if you wait till the end, you're probably going to lose. You're going to lose something.
I was one of the rare ones that didn't have that problem, because we sat down at the kitchen table. By the time we got up, our decision was already made. It was very difficult for both of us as far as emotional. But we knew one thing. If we don't do it now and we wait a year or two, we'll be two bitter people. Now the rivalry begins.
Yes.
We knew that if we try to push this narrative of try to work it out again after we've already gone to counseling, after we've already done all the things that need to be done, and if we push this narrative out a little further, now you're going to end up in 2 years with bitter people coming at each other. So we realized, once we get up from this kitchen table, it's official. And the next day, I grabbed my few items, because you can have all the other things that we've acquired. I grabbed my few items and I got me a place.
Were you like, because I was like this, I was like, look, man, take all this stuff. I don't really care. Because in my head, I'm like, I can get it again. Because us men, we typically want a peace of mind.
That's it. And that night, drove through the rain all from Indiana all the way down to Tampa, Florida. And that's when I started my life, renewed my life in Tampa, Florida. And, went back, we did all the divorce proceedings. And we like I said, we're still cordial to this day. It ain't like we holler at each other, but we're still respectful and cordial to each other to this day. But what I wanted to say, I was, when my stepson turned about 11, 12, 13, I pulled out a condom. I said, what's this? He said, that's a condom. I said, nope. I say, what's this? He said, that's a condom. I know what that is. I say, nope. I say, this is your future car. I say, this is your future house. This is your bank account. This is everything that you will acquire as a man. If you don't put this on, you're going to lose all those things. I say, don't you ever think that this is just a condom. This is your ultimate Iron Man protection, your ultimate Captain America shield. I say, this is made of vibranium. You know all what I was talking about, the Avengers, right? I say, this is what this is made of. I say, this is not just a, right. Now, if I could talk to a child that or a young man that's 11, 12, 13 about that, I'd say the exact same thing to you men, grown men. Men, when you travel, take condoms with you, boxes of condoms. If you're dating somebody, Negro, have condoms in her drawers in her house.
Yeah.
If I'm dating somebody seriously, it ain't gonna just be condoms at my house. That ain't gonna be happening. I got stacks of condoms like comic books at her house.
Yeah.
I kid you
don't,
not. You got
and
you
don't
guys
let
got
her
shoes
don't
at
let
her
her
house.
say it. Don't let her say we don't need it.
Right. I ain't never that drunk to where I can't reach over and grab a condom, because I know that this is not just a condom. Like I said, either you pay for a condom or you pay for a yacht, but you gonna pay for one if that woman
Pay
gets
for
pregnant.
a condom or a condo.
Yeah, or a condo. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
He
And
said condo or condo.
a lot of men take it for granted because a lot of us, let's admit it, we were raised by single mothers. Mom didn't know how to have that type of conversation with us, so we let our communities teach us. And so a lot of these men who are stuck in these I bet you, if somebody did a survey on single fatherhood and men that are on child support, the way that they do, there's a link to men that were raised without a father compared to men that were raised by a father, and how many of them are paying child support or not in marriages where their children are involved. I bet you something's telling me that it always links back to our dads, for many of us, not being there to give us that conversation. What is this, boy? A condom? No, it's not. It's vibranium. And so, you see what I'm saying? I bet you
No,
this
I feel that one, man.
Because it's not a coincidence that you got men out here with 5, 6, 7, 8 kids. That's not a coincidence.
Right,
it's not a coincidence that you got dudes like Nick Cannon that probably doesn't have a good, I don't know if he has a rapport with his father, but there is no way in the world a good father would sit back and have his son with that mindset, no matter how much money he has. And so I know that goes back. There's a percentage of men, a large percentage of men that were raised by single mothers. And this is just one of the ramifications, not just men going to prison, but men becoming unwed fathers. And now you stuck with this big woman for the rest of your days. And I mean the rest of your days. Even if you don't talk to her, when you go to your kid's graduation, you go see Miss Hefty there. Your ex-wife look like, or your ex-girl that you got pregnant still looks like she can block for Barry Sanders. And your new wife looks like a Colombian model. Guess what? You still have you still got Bertha in your life. Big Shirley is still in your life for the rest of your life because you were so proud to where you wouldn't put on a condom or just leave Big Shirley alone and move to another country or go on monk mode. Use the United States for making your money. Stack your paper in the United States, and when it's time for you to have your fun and your intimate exploits, go to another country. You don't want to do that, do you? You just want to go raw dog. My girl, she likes it raw. My baby, she likes it raw. And now here you go.
I heard that a long time, bro. I ain't heard that one.
You want to be ODB?
Yeah. I got a comment, bro. I want you to that I want us to see from a young man. I like your perspective on it because let's talk to this young man real quick. Shout out Marcus Romero Productions. He said, I don't have to deal with. I need to get one of those. I don't have to deal with baby mama drama because I'm a 6 foot tall, light skinned, autistic black male from NYC. I never had game to pick up women, and I don't know how to talk to them. What would you say to this young man there, Andre? I would drop some wisdom on this young man.
I would say hats off to you, kind sir. You were not made. See, some of us don't realize, Marcus, and you're going to realize this about you. You were born in the United States. That doesn't mean that you were born for the United States. Abraham was born in one location, but Abraham was born for another location. Joseph was born in another location in the Bible, but he was born for Egypt.
Yes.
So was Moses was born in another location, but he was born once again for Egypt. Just because your personality traits don't gel in the city with the women that you're around, or gel with the country of the women that you're around. Does not mean that you aren't made for the women that are around the world. Do realize this, Marcus, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The women in the United States make up only 4% of the women in the world. Some of you guys ready to jump off the edge of a cliff of life because 4% of the women in the world told you, I don't want to give you my number. I wish the heck I would waste my time. Actually, yeah, you're right. Moses was born in Egypt. Absolutely
yeah, but
correct.
he took them out of Egypt into what would be known as the Middle East.
Right, where they need to go to. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Some of you guys have to realize that women in the United States only make up 4% of the population. That measly I'll say 150 million women. That's nothing compared on a global basis. And some of you guys are born, such as myself and my brother Sean here, are born for a global experience of women. And you feel so frustrated why things don't work with you when it comes to the programming and understanding women in the United States. And they even try to shame you for it. You just mad because you can't get no, I wasn't made for the women in the United States. I was made for hot chicks around the world. I'm sorry, fat girls, if that's how y'all feel about it.
So what you think about this real quick? We ain't going to no damn other country, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, actually, no. I like what Orlando said. I mean, Orlandis. I hope I said that correctly.
Orlandus.
No, you're not. You're not going anywhere. I'm not talking to you. See, I don't talk to men that aren't going anywhere. Statistics show 68% of all men and women in the United States will live and die within a 50-mile radius of the hospital in which you were born. I'll say that again. 68% of you on this live stream ain't going no dang where. You ain't going to another city, another town, another district, another neighborhood. Everybody know 68% of you statistically will die, and I'll send you that stat, within a 50-mile radius of the hospital in which you were born. So if you were born in LA, guess where you're going to pass on? If you were born in Philly, guess where you're going to pass on to? 68% of you people in the live stream that we're talking to right now, you ain't going nowhere. So Orlandus, I'm not talking to you, brother, because you ain't going nowhere anyway. But I'm talking to men that are on the edge and realize that, wait a minute, I'm trying to make it work here in my home country, but it doesn't seem to be working out when it comes to the ladies or when it comes to the laws. We're talking about the laws too, guys. So when you guys are sitting back talking about the ladies, don't forget the law. You may find the perfect lady. Marcus might find a perfect lady in the States and yet name one state out of 50 where the laws are on his side. Name one, guys. You got 50 states to choose from Alaska to Hawaii. Name one state where the laws are on men's side.
I've lived in 10 states.
Orlandis would rather have Marcus stay in the States with Orlandis, who's there with the other 68%, and yet be a male in a country that doesn't have laws that are conducive to being all the man that Marcus can be. Orlandis, you rather him stay there with you. Is that what you're trying to tell us? With the rest of the 68%. You see where I'm going when I say it's not just the ladies, guys. It's the laws that are stacked against us as well. You would rather have Marcus meet somebody that really doesn't care about him, huh? I'm gonna do my juvenile. You want him to meet somebody who don't care about him, huh? You want him to stay there, huh?
Shout out to my
you
home
want him to
state
get
of
Big
NOLA.
Shirley pregnant, huh? Had to pay child support, huh? Right.
Shout out to my home city. Shout out to the Saints over there. Hey, we're gonna hit one last thing real quick so we can end this live stream in the next 11 minutes, or after we talk about this. But I have that post from Medium Man. Are you familiar with Medium Man?
Of
Brother
course.
always put.
Of course.
I knew you was. You know everybody in these spaces, man. But look, I'm gonna put these stats up because I noticed this the other day before I'd even thought about this topic. But let's put this up on the screen. Oh man, I messed up. Give me 1 second.
Take your time.
I messed up. I gotta share the screen again. There we go. We're about to pop up there. All right. So this is what Medium Man put up on his community post the other day. All right.
Oh man,
this might be a little bit
hard
to see. This might be a little hard to see, but I'm gonna read it out for you guys. Okay. So on the very top left, it says black men, which is in blue, and then black women is in green. Black men and women ages 15 to 49 who had a biological child. So it's 40% of black men and 61% of black women. So black women are having more kids than black men. Then the second one on the top right, black men and women ages 40 to 49 who had a biological child in their lifetime. So black women will have, there'll be more black women who will have a biological child in their lifetime, whereas only 81% of black men. You go down to the bottom left. This is the statistic I was telling you guys about earlier. Black fathers and black mothers who lived with their partners at the first child's birth. The first child's birth. Now, this is either married or cohabitating. The left circle, 66% of men were with their partner at their first child's birth, only compared to 41% black women. And then if you look at the bottom right, now this is here is black men is on the left, black women is on the right. Okay, 54% of black men have no kids compared to 39%. Then you go up, it's about even with one kid, 17% to 17%. When you get up to two kids, only 15% of all black men have two children as compared to 21% of black women. Now, when you go up to 3 kids, 7% of black men have 3 kids or more, or 3 kids, and then 13% of black women have 3 kids. And then you go up to the very top, 4 or more, which is 7% of black men and 10% of black women. What is this showing us? Black men are more likely to have no kids. Black women are more likely to have 2 or more kids. Do we see these statistics? Now, before I move this to the next slide there, Dre, what do you think about these statistics that I just rattled off?
You know what? It's kind of funny because I knew most of those stats. I do need a chart like yours in Media Man. Shout out to Media Man.
I'll send you a link. All that's in blackdemographics.com, actually.
Absolutely great. And I know exactly what website
you know exactly that one. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. And it's just amazing to hear those stats from those of us who are black men of the intelligentsia. But when you hear the reason why I said that is because intelligent men talk like this, but irrational, emotional men and women never present these type of stats. So they'll always make it seem like all of us brothers are out here having a bunch of babies. All of us brothers are out here wilding out and everything. I don't have any children. I've done consultations with over 200 men that are looking to travel in the last year. And of those 200 men, only 8 were fathers. There aren't that many black men as people think that have kids, even though there are a lot of black kids running around. It's Pookie, Nook, Ray Jr. that's out there. It's not us brothers that are trying to accomplish goals that are having the majority of the children. That doesn't necessarily mean that only Pookie and Ray are having children. Just like you said, you were in a marriage, divorce,
I've been
father.
married. I've been married twice. My first my first 2 kids were twins. And then 10 years later, my son was born. So
there we go.
There wasn't a whole bunch of kids in between. You know what I mean? I went out there creating a bunch of children. I was married to my mother, my kids' mothers.
And so that shows what you were saying in regards to the stats of the fathers being there. But when it comes to the women being impregnated by dudes that would be there, the women quite often, like you say, only 49% of them have a guy that got them pregnant right there, compared to the fathers. When it came to look at the stats of the fathers being right there, the stats were higher regarding the dads. What's my point in all this? My point is saying this is that at the end of the day, the decision is up to you guys, but there are repercussions for men. There's no point in your life where there will not be repercussions for your decisions as a man. So we could talk wisdom, in regards to the stats, or we can talk crazy in regards to our opinions. But when cameras go off, men, you have to realize your decisions come with repercussions, and that's what you were born with.
Yep. Let's get to the next set of stats. You actually reminded me of something. Shout out to the movie Life. There's going to be consequences and repercussions.
Repercussions. That's right.
Let's put it like that. All right. So the other thing that he showed us is there are some important factors to keep in mind about the Black community's family patterns. There are over 370,000 more Black women than men. Despite this, there are more than 550,000 married Black men than women. So there are less Black men than Black women, but more Black men are married than Black women.
True.
Let's continue. Black men are twice as likely to marry outside of the race than Black women. Also, according to a report, there are 1 million more Black women with children than Black men. What you got on that?
Goodness gracious.
That's crazy, right? When you really look at the numbers.
Yeah, man. I knew about the men being married more, but the number of kids that Black women have compared to Black men. I just say, man, like I mentioned before, because that's amazing. And as I mentioned before, it's just one of those situations where the world has changed, and it's not the norm. It's not, you can't do status quo anymore. You can't just sit back. Oh, I'm gonna just lay down with this one right here and go raw dog. You can't. You just you can't. It's not worth the gamble. I haven't seen the woman fine enough for me to not to wrap it up. I'm sorry, guys. I've been with some gorgeous women, and I'm telling you something. I ain't been with one outside, unless I'm in a marriage or a solidified relationship, that I am going to sit up there and not wrap it up for. It's just not going to happen. I've been around the world and I ain't seen one. So, guys, because the world is set up the way that it is, and it is not set up, at least in the United States, to protect you, make sure that you guys do something to protect yourselves, whether it is be a little bit wiser with the person that you choose, or be a little bit more wiser in regards to wrapping it up or going on monk mode. In other words, if you're, and I like what the one brother said, I think it was Steve, he said in the comment section, traveling is not as expensive and difficult as most men have been programmed to think. Realize the one thing that a lot of you guys, the reason why the 68% of you guys are going to be staying in the United States, because you've been programmed with propaganda to stay in the United States and been told that it's expensive to travel. And I know you're going to wind down in a second of the show, but you've been programmed to think that it's expensive. And then when you do it, you start to realize that to go to DR is less than going to the club for some nights or some weeks.
Popping the bottles one night. You can live in these countries every month. If you go to the club once a month and pop a bottle, you can live in another country.
Yeah, and then a lot of guys don't realize that you are nothing to the United States. Some of you guys consider yourselves citizens. That's not what the United States considers you for the most part. I'll say this again. Many of you guys consider yourselves citizens. This is my last statement. You are not a citizen to the United States. You are a taxpayer. That's what you are. You keep the lights on. And since you keep the lights on, we cannot have you traveling to other countries and keeping their lights on. So we must program you on a regular basis that it's my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty. I love the United States just like every other man. But at the end of the day, you guys have to realize you were sent to the planet Earth, not to just one country. You were sent here to Earth.
Absolutely. We have one more that I'm going to put up for us. 46% of Black men aged 15 to 49 had a child, compared to 61% of Black women. By their 40s, these figures were closer, with Black men at 81% and Black women at 87%. Right? Black women were more than twice as likely to become mothers before the age of 25. And Black men were twice as likely to become fathers after the age of 25. This led to the higher likelihood of young Black mothers with children from men in older age brackets, and supports the statistic that Black men were more likely to live with the mother of their firstborn child. This difference influenced the family dynamics and also explains why mothers who had their first child at a young age were more likely than all women to have a child with a different partner when they got older. So there are some things there that kind of balance it out and show us. But the fact is that when women are younger, they're having these kids with the wrong men. They're not looking for men that are gonna, have potential or doing something for themselves. They're
But they
laying
can't.
down.
They can't.
Man, say
Think
that for the
about the
Chiefs.
men of potential. The men of potential are the ones that either are married and having children, or such as myself and others aren't having the children. The men of potential are wrapping it up. The men of potential got passports. 64% of all men that have passports have some form of degree and economic stability. And when I mean by economic stability, I'm not talking about they balling. I'm talking about they mean that these men, statistically, 64% are wiser with their monies than the average man who's working the same level job. There are men that have passports that are your coworkers that don't F up their money like you do on 15 pair of Jordans. See, he's taking 15 flights. Because your Jordans cost $300, $200. That's a flight that could get him here to Colombia. That flight can get him to DR. That flight can get him to Mexico. One pair of Jordans. So statistically, these men know how to be wiser with their monies than what your average person would be in the States. 68% that aren't going anywhere. So when I sit back and I see women complain about where are the good men at home married, or in stable relationships, or traveling to other locations, or focusing on their business.
Right.
You know what the good men are? The Marcuses. The men that aren't throwing their bodies around. The men are being wiser. See, Marcus doesn't realize when he made that statement, the young brother earlier, when he made that statement about, I'm having issues with the ladies. You're supposed to. You're a good man. Your how can I say, your essence is choosy. To whereas another dude, take it from me, I was that dude that used to run through the women. Bruh, I wish I was more like you.
Bruh.
So where the universe didn't automatically give me everything, and I'm getting so confused because I'm getting everything. I wish the universe was more picky with me when I was younger. So shout out to you. The universe is more picky with you regarding the type of women that will gravitate to you compared to any old Isha and Keisha that Ray, Nook, and Kevin and them can get. So don't be envious of them dudes. You should sit back and say, thank goodness I ain't stuck on child support like the rest of them clowns are. Because maybe the women don't seem like they're attracted to a dude like me. They ain't supposed to, bruh. You're a special breed of brother. We are a special breed of men. Notice this brother said that I had my children in marriages. That's a special breed of man. I'm 57 years old. I don't have any kids. That's a special breed of man. And there's a lot of us out here, and the Aishas, Keishas, and Lawandas aren't supposed to see us. They're not supposed to notice us. They're not supposed to glance at us. They're not supposed to speak to us. Even if Keisha and Aisha got the baddest body and she fine, chocolate all over, she not supposed to notice you. You're only supposed to be noticed by good quality women, because we are good quality men.
Let me add something to that, and then we're going to get to some comments. We're going to get up out of here, right? You said about not being viewed by those type of women. Now, I talk about this all the time on the channel. In 2014, it's going to be coming up on my 10-year anniversary of a car accident that I had, right? And I remember afterwards, I was going through some depression, got into the car accident, and that was the point where my mom and my uncle both independently told me, you need to get your shit together. That's the first thing they said. The second thing they said was, you need to not date these broke women no more. Okay? That's done. And that life-changing event made me change the way I would look at and go after women. And my uncle told me, he said, if you date a woman who got something for herself, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be different. He said, that's the only way I can explain it. It's going to be different. He said, but it's not going to be like what you've been going through with these broke women. So, given what Andre said, my point is this. You either can learn it young that your specialness of not getting these women coming after you can benefit you in the long run, or you can be an old dude like me, an older dude like me when I was in my mid-30s, finally getting it and finally making those changes. If I had learned that earlier, and I wrote down at 17 that I was going to travel and I'm going to retire out of this country. I wrote it down at 17. Now imagine, there's no disrespect to my kids, but had I made different decisions, I'd be well.
Yeah, I'd be further along too.
Oh
yeah.
man, it'd be easy
At an earlier stage. I would be the I would have been the Austin Holloman, you know, traveling the world at a young age and learning myself and developing my manhood and in other countries. This young brother, before 25, this brother's hit 20 countries.
That's crazy.
Before 25. And these dudes want to, man, listen. And have gone through his ups and downs of maturing as a man and still has a long way to go. Man,
let me catch this super chat real quick. Shout out to Classy Perspective for the $5 super chat. I'm 47. Thank you. I'm 47, single, no children, and I'm glad these women see me as a problem. Good. And that's exactly the point. That's what he said. Exactly, TSG. You want to get to the point where women see you as a problem to weed out the ones who not gonna mean you no well, who are not gonna be on your purpose, who are not gonna be on your plan. And this is not about control. This is about, look, I've put in all this work. Classy Perspective. You put in all this work to be a doctor or be in the medical field. There is no damn way a man in his sane right mind is gonna let somebody come up in your kingdom and burn it down from the inside. Come on now. Come on now. All right, let me get to some of these comments. We're going to get up out of here.
Go ahead, brother.
Let me see. I'll make sure I get to the right ones. Eric says, yeah, you definitely have to let the fellas know about the condom situation because women today will tell you they do not like condoms and I want you to go raw. Yep, they will. And you even heard that situation with, was it Usher? Which one of those stars it was? Where they tried to pop a hole in the thing?
I think it was Drake. Drake had put hot sauce in it. You remember how mad they was about that, Drake? They was mad about that one, bro. How dare you not let get her pregnant, Drake?
Yeah, how dare you? Preston says these laws are always in favor of women who are bog hypocrites and entitled liars. We might have to date outside our race, build up the courage, and do it. You know what, man?
Stop right there, but go ahead.
Yeah, please go ahead so I can put this super chat on the banner
real quick. In regards to that comment,
man.
you could date outside your race, but you can't date outside the laws. Stop leaning on the ladies, gentlemen. It's the laws that's breaking your backs in the United States. It ain't just the ladies. Once you get past that, oh, she this or she that, I promise you'll see the culprit that's standing in the shadows behind her. The laws. She can do what she does to you, NBA players, NFL players, hardworking gentlemen in the States, because the laws. So even if you change races, doesn't mean that the laws have changed. Even if you change states for the most part, doesn't mean that the laws that are against you have changed. So a white woman can take you to court just as fast as a black woman, and she can win that $1,200 a week just as fast as a black woman or a Latin woman could.
Trust me, I know. I freaking know. They get you from all sides, bro. All right, let me get to. All right, that was Eric, Orlando. Thank you for that one, Dre. That's definitely a good word right there. I learned earlier in life that international travel is a lot easier and cheaper than most people realize. A lot of reluctance is that guys never do the legwork to find out. I'm going to say this. I lived in Hawaii for 6 years, right? And even though I was making six figures, it was still expensive to leave the island to get back to the States. You're talking like the average plane flight was $500. That was a good plane ticket. You're talking like upwards of $1,000. And for that same amount of money, I'm talking about like if you was want to leave and go on holiday, you only need about a good, I always like to have backup money because just in case some
Right.
stuff happens. So I like to
Correct.
have about 25, 3,000 when I travel, right? Just in case some stuff pop off. Hey, y'all, get me out of this situation. Here's some cash, right? But it's still, when I went to Colombia, it was like $300. Mexico, less than $300.
True.
So I could have went twice, 4 times for the price of one ticket to leave the state of Hawaii. So it is cheaper. But instead of saving your money to go out on the club on the weekend or splurge, put that money to the side and say, okay, I'm gonna save all the money I would have went to the club for 2 to 3 months. And look, once a quarter or every third of the year, you could be out of the country checking out a new spot just by being fiscally disciplined.
True.
Right?
True.
Preston says, so we're the ones who can't keep it in our pants. I told y'all, and this is me. I'm gonna ask you real quick, Dre, what do you think? I contest from what I'm seeing, I am now believing that it is women who are now cheating more than men. Most women don't want that shame on them. So a lot of them won't admit it when they in these studies. But I believe women, because they have more access to men now, and you see 18 to 29, 33%, about 30-something% of men ain't even having relations.
Ain't even have sex. Yep, that's true. That's
So
true. Absolutely correct.
I don't think them stats is right no more.
I think it's more or less the way the world is right now is not who's pulling up the pants, but is more or less who's lifting up the skirts. Because at the end of the day, women are lifting up their skirts far faster. Because think about it. If a man says, yes, I want to have sex, he still got to convince somebody to have sex with. If all a woman got to do is just lift her skirt up, it'll be 15 dudes standing, even Big Bertha. All you dudes are like big. Some Big Bertha, I have seen some of the biggest, most unattractive baby mamas I have ever seen in my life. Somebody has said that they're going to get that peg leg, one-eyed woman pregnant. So we already know all Bertha got to do is lift a skirt up and somebody in this chat going to run over to her. So at the end of the day,
go to Walmart. Go to Walmart.
What? And they be booed up with them big chicks. Big shoulders, the big shoulders. And so at the end of the day, man, y'all be getting some big ones, man. I like them chubby. Okay, you like them chubby. All right. And so but at the end of the day, it's not about us men as much as being careful with our behavior, but be careful with your behavior because think about it, guys. Going back to the topic, a woman that you are laying with these days are so fast to spread their legs, even professional women, that you could not be the father and be put on child support, not even being the father. That's how often they're spreading their legs. That's the gamble you're taking now. You got to take that in consideration. You can't sit back and let this camera go off. All them brothers don't know what they talk about. It was just a live stream. The stats are the stats when the cameras are off. These women are putting you on child support and the judges are siding with them, even when you come with DNA proof that you're not the father in many cases. So it's about the ladies are just letting the skirts run wild and they don't have to care. Why? Because the laws are on their side.
On their side, man. Steve said, I forgot about the source, but I read that approximately 80% of men throughout history died before passing on their genes, sickness, war, accidents, and never finding a mate. That makes sense. I mean, it makes sense.
It does.
There's a lot of brutal wars, man. You think about those crusades,
plagues.
You think about the only reason that even the baby boomers got so big because a lot of people was having them kids right before they went off to war, which made them one of the largest generations that we've seen, right? So
that's true.
Correct. The boy cannot learn from a man, be a man from a woman, because there's a whole universal rules and penalties for men that women will never know and understand. Absolutely correct.
True.
And I talk about this on a channel all the time. If you look at the channel, Manosphere Highlights Daily, he talked about Nora Vincent. Now, Nora Vincent went into our world to try to become a man.
Correct.
And she wound up deleting herself because she learned it is tough. She said, and I quote from her book, paraphrase from her book, that no woman can understand fully what a man goes through. No matter how much she done been around men, she cannot fully understand what a man goes through. And that is correct. President says, sure, they'll lump all of the good men in one box with the losers like Pookie, Ray Ray, Dookie, and Chad and Brad and call the good man trash. Yeah, absolutely, brother. Go into monk mode. I'm trying to get through some of these. So you're saying that we're walking liabilities and expendable chess pieces? Yes. Men today are expendable, my brother.
Yes.
Right? Exactly, Andre.
And it just hurt his feelings to realize that today, too.
Man, if you hurt, I be hurt. Even the good men get thrown into the lion's butcher's bloody den by getting screwed by their women. Preston me dropping rhymes in here. Again, shout out to Classic Perspective for the $5 super chat, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Wait, what? The woman saw you as the problem? Yeah, right. Classic Perspective, darn the luck. Parasites aren't attached to me. What about the blood-sucking ticks? Are you talking crap, bro? No, he's not trying to, look, he's not trying to diss you per se. If you really hear what Andre was trying to tell you, Orlando's, was the fact that the statistics are factual. A lot of people will never know outside of where they're from. And because of that, it's easy to have the woe is me mentality. Now, Andre, he has his political channel, so he has to be studied up on this stuff. I dabble in this stuff too. And what all he's trying to say is you are more likely to get caught up in your situation if you just live in the same spot. If you don't explore outside of the world around you, you only gonna see it. What's that Plato's Cave? Is it called Plato's Cave?
Plato's Republic.
Yeah, where the people in the cave saw like the scary creature,
the book,
and they inside the cave, but they didn't realize outside of it, somebody standing in the light was casting the shadow.
Yep.
That made them scared of what they saw.
I was actually about to mention to you the book Plato's Republic. That's one of my favorite books outside of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. And in Plato's Republic, Socrates says this, and they were talking about building if you could build a perfect world. And they say in this world, most people who are average everyday people, they will be raised and born and have their kids and their families and work in the darkness of a cave.
Yes.
And this is a quote that I was about to present. In the book, he says, and for the average person, if they dared to walk toward the light of knowledge, or walk out of the cave of darkness, the light of knowledge would blind them so much that they would scurry back into the cave of darkness. Ooh. So for you guys that don't want to prove us right, see if you could prove us wrong. For 2024, I dare any of you who said that we don't know what we're talking about, go take 3 trips to 3 locations. I don't care if it's to Canada, to Mexico, or to one of the Caribbean islands. Go take 3 trips and prove us wrong in regards to culture, people, behavior, opportunities for us as Americans. Prove us wrong. Don't just talk about it. And so, but my point is, what's going to happen is with dudes like Orlandis, I hope I could pronounced your name correctly, brother. You are the type of brother that hears the light of knowledge, but once the cameras go off on this live stream, you'll scurry back into the darkness with everybody else, with the other 68%. Once again, we're not talking to men like you. You aren't going anywhere, and we're at peace with knowing that us. That's another thing that people don't talk about when it comes to passport bros. We are at peace being a minority of the minority of the minority. We never expect most guys to want to get a passport and travel the world, build new lives, find new women, have business opportunities, travel all over the world for the rest of your life, or find a stable location like I have and still travel. We're not expecting most of you guys to think like that. We know most of you guys aren't going to go anywhere because you have fears and have been programmed and with propaganda and lies not to go anywhere, especially within the Black community. So we're not surprised that you're saying what you're saying, brother. We're just going to end it with just in 2024, just go out there on 4 or 5 trips and then prove us wrong.
Just do it, man.
Or
just
prove us right.
Steve says the club. Oh, okay, I got what you're saying. Winners plan for 3 generations, losers plan for Saturday night. Whoo. Bars. That's a damn good one. Marcus says,
Elon
I'm in the 30 something percent. Now, I think he's talking about, look, there's no shame to you, brother.
No.
He's talking about that 30 something percent of men that are not, well, actually it's two of them, right? Two stats. 33% of men haven't had relations in the past year, and along with 33% of 18 to 29-year-olds haven't had relations at all. And if that's the case, that is fine, Marcus. Focus in on what you can control, brother.
Yeah.
Right? Focus in on what you can control. And what you can control is, okay, you may not find a woman who might be for you here, but if you were to save your money and to say, okay, I'm going to do this, then what Dre is saying is you're going to find it's different out of the country, man. I ain't going to lie to you. Healthy wise, food wise, women wise, culturally wise, it
is completely everything that you know about home in the United States. Put a mirror up to it because it's the exact opposite. Everything that you've seen on a video, everything that you've seen in a movie, don't believe none of that. I remember me and Andrea. I'll give a perfect example, Marcus. I'm Andre. My wife is Andrea. We were just so happened watching the movie with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, the opening of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie that came out. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
The opening scene was in Bogota, Colombia, in the jungle, and they had black uniforms on, and they're running after Brad Pitt, like and looking for Angelina Jolie. And you're thinking like it's rough and it's hot and we are in Bogota while we're watching this. Bogota looks more modern than most cities in the United States. Bogota is the 20th largest city in the world. It is more modern than most. But if you let American media show you South America, you think it's in the jungle and everybody's poor. Brother, do you think I'm dumb enough to move to a third world country and be living in a jungle? To be living in the Amazon? Am I beating my... everything that you have in the States, including Amazon, I have here. You've got Costco's, we've got PriceMart. You've got Walmart, we've got Exito. You've got Home Depot, we've got Home Center. There is nothing that you have in the States, including excellent education, that we don't have. Actually, our medical is better. United States ranks number 70 in the world of 109 countries for health care. Your health care is not that good. Colombia ranks number 37 in the world for health care. You can look this up, guys. United States is the most expensive health care in the world, but you only rank number 70 of 104 countries. So do realize, Marcus, brother, get your passport and be who you're gonna be. I wish I was 30 and I was in your shoes, to where I ain't had to worry about them headaches of the ladies, and I could just focus on my money while I'm in the States. Man, listen, I'd be gone every other weekend.
Man,
I kid you not.
Man, you said
I wish I was doing it like Marcus.
You said 30, man. I'm like,
30.
Give me another 15 years.
Dang.
Give me another 15 years again, man, to get my stuff. Being the position I'd be right now in my mid-40s.
You're still even better. 38. You're still young. I'm 30. I'm 57, brother. I'm just picking this. I'm just realizing these things after 40 plus. I wish I was still in the 30s. You see what I'm saying? I wish I was in his shoes in my 30s. Man, the one thing I'd be doing right now, I would be grinding, getting my money on track, dang a club in the United States, dang a female in the United States. Y'all don't want me? No problem. My money want me. Once again, I'll be getting my health on track, have my body on par, make sure I got my life insurance, my health insurance on par. Forget about all them females. Stack your money for you and start traveling. And you will see the exact opposite of your experience in the United States does not exist in the other 96% of women in the world. That's the part that probably ticks me off the most. That we as black men have been programmed, as white men have been programmed to think that in the United States, if you don't get it there, you ain't gonna get it nowhere. When there's 96% of women in the world don't act nothing like the women back home in the States.
It's crazy, bro. It is crazy. Preston, they probably look like horse manure. Preston, you could end up meeting a woman with a disease. And then Steve says she had a cootie that scared penicillin back up into the needle. Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Houston.
Yeah, right. Say that for the cheap seats. Damn, dude, that's really bad. I would love to go to another country to live the experience, bro. You gotta look. Ain't no time like the present. Don't let no listen. We talking about if we're younger. They ain't no look. You still got the now. There ain't no waiting. Do it now. Start now. Start today. Write out your plan today, man. Don't wait. And then Marcus gave you the thumbs up. Chosen said Bogota is on my list.
Oh yeah.
It's sad because I saw a video the other day about a brother that was around 50 and he didn't have no kids, and all the women was basically saying, "What's wrong with him? Is this man gay?" Man, look, they're gonna try to shame you for it because I've said this on this channel before. When I was living in Playa del Carmen, shout out to Playa del Carmen. I'm actually going back to my birthday next month because I love it so much.
For those that don't know what Playa is, where's Playa?
Oh, Playa is it is south of Cancun, a little bit south of Cancun in Mexico.
In Mexico, yeah.
Yeah. So I loved it so much. And my uncle said, Sean, given your personality, bro, you got to come out here. And at first I waited, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. Point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to wait, man. Make your plan today. All right. Make your plan today. And then you said Marcus was 38. I didn't read that to the last one. 38, bro. Okay, I'm gonna drop game on you. When I retired from the military, I was 38, about to make 39. I've been retired now for 6 years. Even when I got out, Marcus, if I had just had my mindset right the minute I touched foot into Vegas, right, and started then, there was plenty of time inside. And then when I did have my plan, it took me less than 2 years to get debt free, get my credit up, and then I left the country. So if you got a solid plan, you're disciplined, you're not out here spending your money on stupid shit, you can get out of here because it's not that expensive to start off, man. It's not. It really ain't. Expensive healthcare, low rating. Thank you, Obamacare. Well, I'm not going to get into the politics of that.
Right. Let's not.
Hey, shout out, King. Shout out, King. Shout out.
Shout out, King.
Yeah. It's all good, bro. Go watch the replay, bro. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Are you a bunch of hypocrites or lonely lesbian? Preston always got the rhymes, bro. King says, "Am I late to the party? Is it too late to cast my vote for F them kids?"
Hey, the king is spoken.
Trey,
long live the king.
Long live the king, bro. Hey, I dropped that video on Friday, man. It's almost at 40,000 views, man. And I just went through.
That's what I was talking about.
Bro, we talking about being on your grind. It ain't just about the financial, it's about your business too, right? And I said in 2024, I wasn't putting my full effort into this channel the way I should. So instead of putting out some half-ass videos, go ahead and plan them shits out, you know. And right now the channel is doing it's getting better, bro. It's getting better. You know
That's what I'm talking about. I see.
But this applies not just to the channel, it applies to your life, man. You know what I mean? F them kids. What you about to say, Jay?
I agree with him. Hey, like I said, long live the king, because he's 100% correct, man. You know, sitting up here and putting yourself in a situation. And a lot of dudes do it out of comfort because, you know, okay, Big Keisha live next door. Let me go next door to sleep with Big Keisha. And that's how dudes a lot of times get women pregnant because of just proximity. Just proximity. You know, it's like, man, listen, I ain't about to deal with this.
I got a question for you from Chosen. He said, question for Andre, Cali or Bogota? I've been to Cartagena and Medellin already.
I would say, depending on what you're looking for, like I said, Bogota is the 20th largest. It's beautiful, man. Don't get me wrong. Bogota's restaurants, history, the Gold Museum, right across the street from the Emerald Museum. Colombia is the largest country, one of the largest countries in the world for emeralds as well as gold. So that's excellent to do. There's so many things to do down here. another thing that Colombia is one of the few countries that have a Taj Mahal replica. So if you can't make it to India to see the Taj Mahal right outside of Bogota, yeah, see how your boy live here. I don't be sitting around the house.
I only went to Cartagena and Barranquilla.
And so now, true. Those are nice areas too. I love Barranquilla.
Yeah, actually, Barranquilla shocked me how it was just so clean and metropolitan. And, sat down. It looked like any normal city, man. I walked through the mall. It was like 4-5 levels, and I was like, yo, this place is crazy, bro. It just looked like a normal place. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, this is crazy.
Then here in Cali, you got the capital of salsa music. You got the second largest Afro-Colombian or Afro descendant city in all of South America other than Salvador, Brazil. So Cali is like a black town. It's like the Atlanta of South America somewhat. And great food, great people. You're only an hour and a half from the Pacific Ocean. So if you came in May, you can see the whale migrations. You know how people go out and see the every year. Yeah, Cali, Colombia is right on the outskirts of the Pacific Ocean, and the whales, the humpback whales are migrating from the Atlantic, and they're bringing their kids all the way up north because Colombia is one of the few countries that is separated by two oceans. You got the Atlantic Ocean over the top where the Caribbean is, and then on the side where Cali is the Pacific Ocean, and so you can go out during like from May through October and see the whale migrations. Like you could literally, my boy went, the whales jumping up in the air, and the whole experience that you see on National Geographic is here in Colombia. So you get a chance to, and they got that in DR as well when they get up to DR, but you get a chance to enjoy parts of the world. If you into bowling, we've got great bowling alleys here in Colombia. We got two excellent golf courses here in Cali. Medellin has 3 excellent golf courses. So you get a chance to experience so much, and the weather is different. You got Bogota where it's a little bit cooler. You're going to need a jacket. But in Cali, Colombia, the last thing you're going to need is a jacket. But do not bring sandals unless you are going to the beach, because the one thing that's going to make a Colombian woman be unattracted to you, if you are a man that's walking around in sandals and or shorts, and you are not by the beach. They are not turned on by that. Oh man, Colombia women, woo, they tolerate, they deal with you on a lot of scales. But if they see you wearing shorts and ain't no beach around, or if they see you walking the streets, all you Southern boys with your sandals and socks on, the only women that's gonna come after you are women that's trying to hustle you.
I can't walk past my mom with some socks and some damn slides on, man. My mom would kill me, man. To this day, she would still kill me. Chosen says a lot of dudes are big on Thailand, but pay for play might be too heavy for me. You don't have to do that, man.
No.
You ain't got to do
that's never been my world.
Yeah, me neither. Look, I don't knock men for doing it, and I understand why men might find themselves doing it. And I've changed my perspective on it. Because I'm like, look, that's a grown man. He can make a decision. Ain't nobody should be watching that dude pocket, worried about what he doing if it ain't harming nobody. But if that ain't your thing, that ain't got to be your thing, man. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, Chosen, Chosen is right around the same age as I am, right? So he is 79 baby too. So a lot of the times when you get older, man, you go into these places, it'd be nice if you could find a woman, but really and truly, man, you just love the peace. I can't explain that to you, brothers, enough. The peace, like it's so much peace. I felt guilty for being out of the States, bro. I mean, what do you call that? Survivor's guilt?
I dealt with that. Guilt? Yeah. I've dealt with that. It took me about a year and a half of me traveling to get over feeling guilty that my brothers and sisters were back in the States dealing with everyday hangups, headaches, struggle. And I'm not talking about I'm on vacation. I'm talking about that we're out here living these experiences. And we know that our brothers and sisters are back in the States and really have been programmed to think with the horse blinders on that it's always going to be my country, 'tis of thee, and scratching their heads like, how do you go? You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And then, in another country, that exact same bottle of water that you're paying $2 or $3 or $4 for is 47 cents in another country, the exact same water, and it's healthier, you're thinking like, I kid you not, I went through that survivor's guilt, that not being in the States and feeling bad because I knew that I was living a better life than many of my brothers and sisters back home. And not because I had more money per se, but because everything was a lot healthier, a lot more peace. The people were more friendly. There's a reason why they call countries like Thailand the country of smiles. There's a reason why they don't say that about our home country. Canadians, those in the UK, you Americans. There's a reason why they don't call our country the country of smiles, and they call other countries that. There's a reason why they say Colombia ranks number 5 in the world for the most emotionally intelligent people, because they care about a person as a person. There are times when my neighbors have saw me with 4. I remember one time my neighbor saw me with 4 items, just 4 items in my arms, and the mother and the daughter grabbed all my items, just 4 items, and walked them up the stairs with me and handed them back to me when I got to the top of the stairs. The mother was trying to show the daughter, this is how you take care of a man.
Yes.
You will never see that in the States.
Right. Nothing much, bro. Just enjoying the show. How's your day-to-day? Oh, I guess y'all talking to each other. I remember decades ago, my father told me about judges telling men, if you feed them long enough, the kids will start to look like you. What the heck?
I heard that one before.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard
I
that
have
before.
not heard
Yep,
that.
I've heard that one before.
That is crazy. F them kids. Oh, that might be the quote, man. Matter of fact, that might be a t-shirt right there. F them kids.
F them kids.
Oh, I need a new t-shirt idea.
That's for real.
Good one. Yeah, I was watching the episode of Miami Vice the other day. And they had a scene that was based in Bogota, Colombia. Yeah, a lot of these shows like to film in exotic locations and stuff. So.
Remember, Colombia is spelled with 2 O's, no U.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Please don't make that mistake. They will.
Colombia.
Bro, it's like being in Nevada and you call it Nevada. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, don't call it Nevada. They will be pissed. They even have it at the DMV on the wall, how it's pronounced. That's how serious they are. You ain't my daddy, or I'm not calling him daddy. Oh, the peace and quiet freedom peeps. Say it with me. Yep. And King says, just one more reason I'm glad that Keisha and LaRonda don't like men like me that know where my birth certificate is. There's some irony in that statement. Jesus, man. Let's end off with that one, man.
He is right.
So, Dre, you were talking about that earlier, man, just about we were both talking about how you want to be the man that these women are not attracted to. You want to be the man that the right woman gonna say, you know what? I see his value. I see who he is. So young men it's a young man, well, he's younger than me, but men like Marcus here, you want to be the person. You don't want to be for everybody, because that doesn't make you unique, right? You want to be unique, because the more unique you are, the rarer you are. And that's the way you want to be. What you got to say on that? We'll close out on that one.
Man, we'll close out in regards to your statement, man, because you're absolutely correct. The best benefit that I could say that I had, the gift that I had that Marcus has and that you have, is the fact that the average woman is not attracted to me in the sense of Aisha, Keisha, LaWanda, and them. I go back to the States and there are women that walk past.
Don't have to talk to me good. Right here, bro.
I give you a perfect example, a good story real quick. A friend of mine hooked me up on a blind date years ago. And I get to the woman's house. We were like, I was 30, I was 33, she was like 25. So she and so she was like 27. And so I get to her place and her sister answers the door and she sees me. And she said, have a seat. My sister will be out in a moment. She's getting herself together. And I already saw what her sister looked like. So she was a very attractive person. And I could hear them in the other room. They didn't know I could hear them. And her sister gave the greatest compliment to me of all time without even knowing it. Now, I'm in the other room. I'm sitting on the couch. And her sister said, I want you to go out there and tell him. And Marcus, you need to hear this. Yeah. I need you to go out there and tell that man that's out there on the couch, you can't make it tonight.
What?
And she said, hear me out.
Oh, no,
And
I
I'm
know how
hearing
that
the
is.
whole thing while I'm sitting on the couch. She said, I don't care what you got to tell him. And this was her older sister. She said, that is a grown man out there. And sis, you ain't used to dating no grown man. She said, this is not gonna work. And she said, I'm your sister. I love you. She said, but this is not your type of guy. That's a man out there. And they couldn't hear me. And so she came out a few moments later and said, well, Andre, I'm going to be busy. I got some things. I said, oh, no problem. Because I heard the conversation. Man, you think a man, I didn't walk out there with my chest, my head hanging high, my head up and my chest out. There are women that realize that there are those that are boyish, that are pookies and ray-rays, and there are women out there that realize that we are grown men, and not every woman can be attracted to or be a part of a grown man's life. That's why those IG models got to go to and get impregnated by the young NBA players, because the grown man NBA players, they already know they can't get 4 seconds of their time.
They know better. Yeah. Especially you've been around the block long enough, you didn't seen enough stuff, man.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna put no banana in my tailpipe, right?
Right. And there's a lot of us out there that women know, just keep walking, girl. Do not say nothing to him. Oh, I've had women tell me that he looked like he uppity. Or he looked like he better than.
Compliment.
I am better than. That's right. That's a compliment. That's not a put down. I am better than what y'all do. I'm better than weaves. I'm better than the big eyelashes. I'm better than the injected lips. I'm better than those gigantic BBLs. I'm better than all that. You dang right I'm better than that. And a lot of you men are better than that. Yes. So yeah, when the women walk past you like he think he all that, you dang right. And my job is to make sure that you think I'm all that. So yes, sir. Women are supposed to always see dudes like you, Marcus, as what you are, a grown man.
Right. And look, I'm gonna end off with this. When I told y'all my story earlier after the car accident, and my people told me, hey, you need to get your shit on straight. Once I started making those changes, and look, I'm still making those changes, because as you get older, you're learning, you're growing. Learning never ends. Okay.
True.
And I knew that I had made good changes when the women that were like my exes and the women I had in the past weren't even checking me out no more. That's when I knew. That's when I knew. I was like, whoa, that is a huge thing, to know that you finally changed so much that the type of women that you might have dealt with in the past know not to stop and talk to you. They already, you can already see it in their face. I can't talk to him. I've even had women tell me, like, you just seem like you got your stuff together. Intimidated. You would think that'd make them want you more, but they are intimidated by it, because they know they ain't got shit to offer you. They know they ain't got shit to tell you. That's a grown ass man. You know what I mean? Last comment. That's an ass whipping waiting to happen. Preston. Hey man, Dre, thank you so much for coming up today,
yes, sir.
man. Thank you so much. I had a great time talking to you, man. I just felt like this topic was very, very important, man. Like when I woke up and saw that on my phone that this law had passed, and like you said, there's the potential, if you deal with the politics stuff, the potential of seeing this thing spread to more states.
That's true.
I knew we had to talk about the implications of it, because the effect is going to affect all men, because white men are going through the same thing that we're talking about too. You know, men of all races are, but particularly on the black community, which is we're in disagreement right now. We are not we're not equally yoked at this moment.
No.
I felt that I had to touch on this subject today and put it out there for the brothers. And I hope they get from you and I today, Andre, to today is the day. Today is the day for change. Ain't yesterday. You can't do nothing about that shit. You can't be thinking tomorrow never come, because men like Andre and I and some of you guys in the chat, how many of y'all done seen y'all old folk talk about one day I'm going to make it happen, and they ain't here no more. They never got to see nothing they said come to fruition.
I used to work in a nursing home, and in that nursing home, I noticed two things lived in a nursing home: old people and regret. And I noticed there was more regret lived in a nursing home than old people.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my oldest shows I did before the channel really started to pick up was talking about, it was like 50 regrets of people over 50. And that's one of them. Regretting things they didn't do, regretting not the relationships, regretting not taking that trip. You know, all the things we talked about today, we covered some of those regrets of 50 regrets of people over 50. Don't be one of those people. Last one, because you gotta let King let us out on this one. Let's add another layer to this. The system won't stop with stepfathers. They will make men that date women taking care of their grandkids liable for those kids. Her grandkids. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. God dang. What do you think about that? Oh, hold on real quick.
Hey, they're trying to get that money.
They try to get that money. Still saying, bro, it's good to see you. This is very funny that TSG would do this so soon. I can add this one to the war chest. Oh, he talking about me coming up doing a Sunday live stream. Bro, I had to, bro. If I see, look, here's the thing I'm gonna promise you guys, gents. If I see information that come out and I can't make it into a video fast enough, the best way to do it is let's talk about it. Let's come here, let's get on this thing and let's talk about it. That's my promise from now on. If I can get on a live stream and we can talk about this information as soon as I see it drop, let's come talk about it. I don't care about the views. I don't care about that. Let's come on here as men and hash this thing out. That's my promise to you guys. It ain't. I do Wednesday live streams. That ain't no lie. But if we got something we got to talk about and I think it's timely, I'm coming on here to talk about it. I ain't talking about no celebrity gossip. I'm talking about news that's going to affect our lives. I'm coming on here. All right. It might be a half-ass show, but I hope y'all rock with me through it. All right. So again, thank you, Dre. Shout out to Still Saint for coming through. Shout out to Preston. Shout out to King. I try to go through and shout out everybody if I can. Shout out to Eric Williams. Shout out to Chosen. I'll get back to you here in a little bit. Definitely shout out to Marcus. I hope you really took what Dre said to heart, man, and you use that to help you out there, brother. Shout out to Eric Williams. That thing jumped on me. Shout out to Steve. If I miss anybody, let me know. Orlando Deuce, man, thank you for being a part of the conversation. Look, we're going to tell hard truths. We men. We're going to tell hard truths to each other, but guess what? We going to listen, okay? We're going to give our perspective. We're going to listen. Shout out to Classy Perspective for the $5 super chat. Thank you for coming through, brother. Every dollar helps. Again, I don't make no money off this channel, bro, because I throw it all right back into it. That's how we got StreamYard. That's how we got all this stuff, you know, because I want to make sure we got a good product going on here. Shout out to DDG18. Shout out to another brother who served, right? Steve, shout out to you for serving. Shout out to Chosen for the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Who else we had up in here? I don't want to miss anybody. Shout out to In-Qualified Immunity. Why didn't that pop up? Yeah, definitely In-Qualified Immunity. I like that name, man. Shout out to Rando Ganja. Shout out to it's jumping because there's new comments. Shout out to Wisdom Headley. Thank you for coming through tonight or this morning, this afternoon. I don't even know what time of the day it is no more. Shout out to Uncle Fire. Shout out to you, Andre.
I was about to say shout out to you.
Yeah, I know, right? Shout out to Timothy Bright. Shout out. Wow, I jumped again. Y'all dropping comments now. Why y'all dropping comments now, man? Shout out to Above Beyond It Forever. I'm going to get to y'all comments. Give me a second. Shout out to XL Pro. Shout out to OVT. Shout out to Cool Breeze. Look, I can't do this without you guys. That's why I try to take the time, if I can, to shout you guys out. Shout out to Sergeant. Thank you for coming through. Yep. Oh, Sergeant says salute from Germany, man. He watching.
That's what I'm talking about. Salute.
Bro. Bro, you know that make you feel good to know that, bro. Shout out to Brandon Hanson. So as everybody, we're going to get to these newer comments and we're going to exit out of here. All them fake press-on nails and bat wings. Preston like to go off on his rants, man. All right, I already did that one. Orlando do say respect. Yep, man. Can't wait to have you on the next live stream. Thank you, brother, for being here. And then Marcus says, thank you for the advice, brothers. I respect it. Man, that's what we're here for.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're here. That's why we got these channels, man. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different about these channels. These women had the damn microphone for 80, so 40-something years, 50-something years.
40-something years. Yep.
Bro. I remember when Oprah first came on, bro.
Oprah, Sally Jesse Raphael, Phil
Lake.
Donahue, Let Women Lie. You had Jerry Springer, Let Women Lie. You had Ricky Lake, Let Women Lie.
Bro, Ricky Lake didn't even, I read something. Ricky Lake, no, it may not have been Ricky Lake. It was Ricky Lake or Sally. One of them did not want to do the type of show she was doing. She talked about it later now that she's older. I think it was either Ricky Lake. She said she got pushed to doing these type of shows. And she was like, look, I'm a serious journalist. I want to talk about these issues seriously, but you guys are trying to get these goddamn clicks. Let me tell y'all something real quick, and I'm going to end off on this. Oh, hold on. Nothing but love for the channel. Thank you, Preston. I try to bring you guys the truth in video form. Go look at any one of those videos. Go look at the views on those videos. Them videos don't even have they'd be lucky to have 500 views on some of those videos. So when I try to put this same information we put out today in video form, y'all don't watch the video. So look, when you got to give an animal a treat, or medicine, you don't put it directly in their mouth. You wrap it in the treat. So I'm going to give y'all the entertainment. I make no qualms about it. Look at the very bottom of every video. This is an entertainment channel. I'm gonna make sure that when you give me your time, you're entertained, but you're also gonna have some food for thought. And that's the way I gotta do it. I'm sorry. That's the way y'all want. That's the way y'all want this news, man. But I will come on here anytime I see any type of news like this, and we're gonna talk about it. I don't care how many people view it. We're gonna look at it. Okay. What you got, Dre, on that? And we'll get out of here.
That's it, man. I just want to let you know that I'm proud of everything that you're accomplishing and have accomplished and will accomplish. And so continue on with it, man. Continue to put the message out there for men and women to continue to progress. It's not going to be easy, gentlemen and ladies, but it is possible to accomplish the things in life that you need and deserve to accomplish.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is great words. We're going to leave out on that. Gentlemen, gents. Uh-oh, I just messed up. I hit the wrong button. I was trying to be slick with it, bro. This is the one-man production going on here. All right, gentlemen.
Welcome to my world.
I know you know about it, bro. I got 3 channels now, bro.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I got a politics channel where I'm just talking. It's the easiest way to make a video.
Easy.
And bruh, the hate I'm getting in those comments.
Because of politics, just let it slide. I'm used to it now.
Hey, I'm not even mad but that's the easiest channel for me to make a video on, because I just turn the camera on and I say it's my opinion. It's just my opinion. Go look it up for yourself. But this is what I've looked up. There you go. But anyway, thank you, Dre. I appreciate the good word. And until next time, live your best life.